morning. Thank you all so much for being here. We are no longer doing the Ollipops because I think I went through all of the flavors that I went through all the flavors that I would like do. Like I'm not yeah, I don't think there's anything else. I think I went through all of them. Now I'm just going to start buying them in bulk. But we're also on our health journey now. Not health journey, but we got to kick some things into gear. And my whole family is in on it. So now we're doing our power smoothies for dinner. I'm having a green child is like, yeah, there she is. I'm having a green smoothie. We have pineapple, kale, dates, a dab of honey, some black girl vitamin, collagen peptide powder, one banana, kiwi, and green grapes. It's a whipped cream. Because listen, I gotta have fun. I gotta have fun. How are you guys doing? Potomac for me is starting to get good. And I think it's because all of the ladies are starting to find their footing. The only thing I don't like is that it's starting to break off into cliques. And these cliques are not really well formed yet. You know what I mean? For them to be breaking out in these kind of windows. So I'm just like, I feel like the clicking is a little too soon, especially for new characters. I don't know why so many new characters are joining in on cliques when it's just like you have to find your footing and your fan base before you align yourself with the quick. It's too soon, Tia. It's too freaking soon. But anyway, I'm starting to like it. I think I'm starting to like it because Angel is coming around. Kierna is non-existent. No shade. Like you guys know that I was rooting for her and I wanted her to be a part of this show. This season has been abysmal for her. It has not been her best work. And I have just more or less walked away from the idea of her being a part of this show because she doesn't seem happy. And for a long time, Angel didn't seem happy. Both of them just seemed like they did not like the show. And then the stuff that they were doing off of the show, the interviews that they were doing was so nasty and negative. And I'm just like, if you don't like it here, why stay? But we have Angel coming around, and I think it's because she's doing her commercial for her brand. And then we have, I guess the altitude is getting to Kierna, so we're not seeing a lot of Kierna. So that just means we can have a bit more fun and more storylines can start working now because so many people, the two people who were pulling all of the energy from the cast, one is finding their balance and another is muted, which is sad, but unfortunately, it's working. It's working. And you know how I wanted my girl Kierna to be a main brick holder. But it's just not working. Anyway, let's just get into the review. Potomac is getting good, but you know what's really, really good? Traders. My God, today. I cannot wait for us to talk about that. Peacock know how to do a game show. Well, spoke too soon. Anyway, like I was saying about Angel, I don't know if Miss Homegirl took some gummies or it's the altitude or she's just more comfortable being in an environment that is familiar to her. But again, she was very enjoyable this episode. She seemed like she wanted to be around the ladies and she seemed like, well, throughout the episode until we got to the end, she seemed like she wanted to be around them. She seemed like she wanted to forge relationships. She really seemed like she was finally showing up to work. So I did enjoy a lot of her presence at the beginning and middle of the show. I will also say the way she responded to Wendy, I'm like, this is what I need, right? I need you showing up because when we pick up on this episode where we left off the last episode, and that's Angel saying, well, who said what? Like where's this pertinent information about me being evicted? And then Wendy says, well, I heard from one of my realtor friends that there was somebody who was looking to be a part of this show who needed a property that looked like 10,000, but she can only afford to pay 1,000. I will say, I don't know much about the situation, but that just seems like an odd thing to say because it doesn't it doesn't seem believable, and it just doesn't make sense that somebody will say that unless this property is an Airbnb. Now that I can understand, right? We're in, if it's Potomac. I mean, I know Potomac is expensive, guys. I get it. You guys have told me that millions of times. But I think a property for $1,000 in LA, like Airbnb property for $1,000 in LA, is going to look a lot different than a property for $1,000 a month in like somewhere close to Potomac or Maryland or wherever. I think that's going to look significantly different and have a lot of the luxury, a lot of the space in an area like that, right? Now, if this is an Airbnb, that makes sense. If it's a short-term rental property that's not Airbnb, I'm not sure if that would be even doable, right? I'm not sure that somebody like this who is in, a community, that WAG and all that stuff, that ball player wife, NFL money, I'm pretty sure making a comment like that just as stupid. Like, it doesn't make sense if we're talking about what kind of property this is. If it's an Airbnb, I get it, right? If it's not, then I don't know if I fully believe the realtor, because it just, I listen, I don't know Angel, but I just don't think somebody who appears to have some kind of money and is in a community of money will make a comment like that. That just doesn't seem reasonable. And I feel like she's a lot smarter than that. Anyway, when Wendy tells her this information, Angel stands up and she starts screaming. She's like, why? And like she's making all of these sounds, scaring everybody. Everybody's clenching their pearls. And she was just like, that's not true at all. I will say this, Angel. You never give somebody who is bringing a bone back, you never give them confirmation that their tea is correct, right? Because as soon as like Angel has this moment where she's like, and scaring everybody, she sits down and she's just like, I know who you're talking about. And that person is probably mad that I didn't go with them and I went with somebody else. And I was like, Angel, you were doing so well. Why would you even give any of the ladies in that room clarity or confirmation that this bone that was carried back, at least some of it was true? Deny. Because as soon as she said that, Wendy was like, you see, I wasn't lying. And Giselle was like, oh yeah, I always believed you. So it's like you ruined your credibility right there a little bit, because me as a viewer, I'm starting to like believe, Angel, that, this realtor is doing like, I didn't think the realtor thing was even true. But when she gave confirmation, I'm just like, oh, so that you at your big age, with the kind of money that you have or are supposed to have within these circles and the education that you lead with, did you really ask a realtor to get you a property that looked like $10,000, but you can only afford to pay $1,000? That doesn't make any sense. But now I'm questioning it. I'm just like, is that something that you actually did do? Because you just confirmed with Wendy that you know exactly who she's talking about. So I'm like, was that a conversation that happened? Yay or nay? Because now there's some weight to it, and there would not have been any weight to it if you would not have confirmed that you spoke to that person and what the conversation was about. Like, you get why that person was upset because it didn't go their way. Like, you knew so many details about it, where to the point where it was just like, oh, maybe this was true. Maybe this was true. I will say Angel's been really great this episode with just moving along with everything, right? She was just like, that's not true. Let's just go do a wellness thing. Like, that's what I said. I like when the ladies are able to move on from moment to moment. Kiana and Angel together were just dragging. They were dragging everything. You couldn't move on. It was always such a dark cloud. I'm telling you, this lady clocked in for her commercial. I hope she doesn't clock out, because she is very enjoyable when she actually clocks in to work. Just a dab of unhingedness. That works for you, Angel. that works for you. I will also say this to Wendy, two things. One, that realtor, that realtor friend, because when Angel was just like, that person's not a good realtor, and Angel's like, Wendy was just like, oh no, don't talk about my friend, she's a good realtor. I'm just like, I don't think so, right? And now that Angel knows who that is, she can tell the ladies who that person is. And you have burnt so many bridges with this woman in this group, because why would they want to use her business or work with her in any kind of capacity if they know that she's going to talk about their financial situation, especially to a housewife? So I don't know how good of a realtor she is if she is burning so many bridges with potential clients, because how they make money in that industry is by recommendations. It's by, working a very closed network. If this is the closed network that she wants to work in, her bridges are burned. Thanks to you, sis. Ooh, I don't know. I don't know if she's still gonna be friends with you after this. Anyway, Wendy goes on about how her friend isn't a good realtor. And I'm just like, well, I don't think she is, because one, she is telling personal information about a potential client or a client at that time, telling her personal financial information to someone that she does not know, that is not aligned with this financial process or this house hunting, thing that you all are doing together, this realtor relationship that you have. And if you are telling their personal business to someone that is not within their community, and that is not someone that has to be privy to the information that they are given because they're all looking for a home together, then that does look bad on your friend, and she doesn't look like a good realtor. It's giving HIPAA. Because how the hell are you telling somebody personal financial information and they are unaware and they don't know this person? Why would you do that? How are you good at your job if you are doing something like that? You are immediately making your customer feel unsafe and potential customers feeling like you are messy and unprofessional. So I got to say this, Wendy, you my girl, but that realtor friend is not good. And then I also don't understand why you got on our girl Stacy. Because Stacy then says to Angel, because Angel's denying that that conversation never happened, but she's making the ladies not feel like she's telling the truth, because she's also confirming in a way what Wendy's realtor friend said. Like I said, deny, deny, deny. So Stacy goes, well, why don't you just call her? If what she's saying isn't true, let's just call her so we can have the conversation, and this whole situation could be dead. Wendy looks back at Stacey and goes, oh, now you want to call people? When we wanted to call TJ, you didn't want to call nobody, but now you want to call. Did y'all think that was weird? Because that was so weird to me. I'm like, why are you doing that? And I got to clock it, Wendy, because you being upset with Stacey and then saying that you don't want to call your friend to confirm this, you were either two things were happening. Either you were protecting your friend, or you were lying. And you didn't want that friend to get on the phone, because if they got on the phone and told their version of the conversation, you will look bad. So it's either two things happening. Either you're lying or you're protecting your friend. I'm going to choose to believe that you're protecting your friend, but it was very weird that you snapped at Stacey and brought up the freaking reunion as a way to get her to shut up, to stop asking Angel to call. Why were you so adamant about not calling that woman? Because that's what housewives do, right? They say, get her on the phone, but call them. Let's see. Let's hear it. Y'all did that with Chris. So why could we do it with the realtor? And why did you get mad at your friend for even suggesting that? Did she have information privy to, like, did she know something and was she messing up the plan? I don't know, but that was real weird when you did that. That was real weird. And I was like, something's happening here. Either we're being very protective or we're lying. What do you guys think? Put it in the chat. Put it in the chat. Moving along. We get to Angel's home. So like I said before, I don't like this. And I don't know how production even allowed this. I don't like when it's a girls trip and everybody is in like separate quarters, right? So we have like almost half of the group split up, right? We have Angel, Tia, and Kiana staying at Angel's home, and then we have Giselle, we have Giselle, we have Monique, we have Wendy, Stacy, and oh, what's the other girl's name? The Wag, Miss Delusional, Miss Delusional. They're all staying in one place, and I am vehemently against that. And I do not know how any producer on that show allowed it, because like I said before, the best footage that you are going to get from a season is from the girls trips. So that's why, especially with Atlanta, they got them cameras everywhere. They don't let nobody leave. Everybody has to stay in the same location. And when those cameras go down, they make sure the secret cameras and the secret audio is up, because that is going to be some of the best footage for the season. And probably a lot of that is going to end up in the trailer or being passed off to the press to get people to come and watch the show. So we are not going to get that on this trip because the group is split up. We have to get them to come together. Why? Because there's going to be tears, and there's going to be laughter. There's going to be gossip. There's going to be fights. There's going to be friendships happening, and people, getting along with each other that didn't get along before. And then there's going to be people coming together who probably didn't like each other, exchanging information about an issue that they had, and then they can figure out who's the problem with that issue. And 9 times out of 10, it's not them, it's somebody else causing some drama. So there's so many storylines that you can go with that just comes with this one girls trip. So to break them up is such a stupid idea. And I do not understand how production allowed it, because we're not getting the best that we can. All we're getting is this one group that has all of this action going on, but then we have the cameras being split up at this dull location where not much is going on, but you got to film there because half of the cast is there. It is stupid, right? So the girls are split up. Angel takes, first of all, she's an hour and a half away. Production, what is going on? Not only is your cast not staying in the same place, they're an hour and a half away from each other. Not only is that grueling on your cast, it's grueling on the crew. And this is what I can tell you for sure. Yes, the cast was frustrated with the home that Angel put them in, and we'll talk about that later. But I'm telling you, everybody is so cranky because of all the hustle and bustle that is happening on this trip. Because not only is everybody far away, filming time is disjointed now because they're not all together. So it is, especially with the crew, I know it is grueling on them. They're going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, an hour away in the Colorado Rockies. It's ridiculous. So this is probably why Angel is getting this edit on this trip, because everybody, including the crew, hates it. Hates it because of this nonsense. So Angel leaves with Kiana and Tia. They have to drive an hour and a half out, a freaking road trip to get to Angel's home. Her home is cute. I can see why she would not be able to host everyone, but I'm just like, you definitely could have gotten a home that could have housed everyone. But she is a breastfeeding mother, so she didn't want to be away from her children, and I absolutely understand that. But I just feel like this trip could have been put together a bit better. And yes, I will put this on Angel because this is our trip to host. It's also on her story producer because this is so disjointed. You had to have known better. Monique, let me bring up Monique. Where is she at? Not Monique breaking the fourth wall to let us know how terrible of a host Angel is on this trip. So Monique breaks the fourth wall to drag Angel as a host. Here's the thing. Monique let y'all know, and what she said was the truth. She said, listen, I plan these trips, and when I host, I plan the trip and I put everything together. Production foots the bill. There is a budget, right? Production foots the bill, most of it. For housewives like Miami and Beverly Hills, production will foot the bill to a certain extent. If it goes out of their bill, Beverly Hills Beverly Hills does this often. Beverly Hills just pay for it. A lot of times their trips go over, and those ladies don't care. They got so much stolen money, they'll just pay for it, right? Potomac likes to stay within budget. So the reason why the ladies are frustrated, especially those who have hosted, is because they know what the budget is. And a lot of them, including Giselle and Monique, are just like, this budget was not used and it wasn't used properly because they don't like their accommodations. They don't like that everything is split up. They don't like the fact that there's not a lot going on. And the ladies who have hosted and the ladies who do know how much the budget is for the trips, they are just like, you could have done way better than this with the money the show gives. And if you wanted to go above and beyond that, you could just add to that budget. So why is this trip looking like this? And it's unfortunate for Angel because this is the commercial for her company Wanderlust or whatever. So it's unfortunate for her, but it's just like, this isn't working. This is not working. And I feel so bad for her because I know she is trying so hard. But unfortunately for her, the ladies know that the trip could be better. They know the budget. Production knows the budget. I don't know why they let it go like this. I guess maybe they're trying to expose Angel because she said that she was going to do certain things and didn't do those things with the budget. I don't know if they're trying to say that she like took the money and said that she spent it on these things and didn't spend it on it or whatever it is. They are alluding to the fact that this trip could have been a lot better. Angel just chose not to do that. So that's where a lot of the aggression is coming from the cast, but also the crew, which is why Angel is getting the edit that she is getting. So after Angel takes the ladies to her place, even before that, they do this like wellness, like breathe in, breathe out, calmness, meditation thing that they're doing. And everybody had the same thought. Everybody's just like, listen, every time we hang out with Angel, we got to do some heavy breathing and all that stuff. We don't want to do that anymore. Like, we're tired. They're like, we're tired of the retreats with Angel. We want to do something else. And they're just like, why are we sitting here on these freaking yoga mats doing all of this like calisthenics and all this yoga heavy breathing? And she's sitting there in her cute boots just watching us. Like, no, she needs to participate too. Stacey was just like, I am tired of sitting on my behind and doing jazz hands. I want to have some fun. And I agree, Stacey. I agree. Let's have some fun. So Angel, like I said before, takes Tia and Kierna to her home and they get ready because there's another event coming the following day. My God, today is an absolute nightmare. The ladies lost water. They keep on losing water. There's something wrong. It's not working out. And because they're frustrated with Angel, everybody is putting 20 on 10, especially Giselle. I will say, I think the rest of the cast is like trying to grin and bear it, but they're getting annoyed. They're getting annoyed with not having running water. They're getting annoyed with being so far away from civilization. They're getting annoyed with the distance. Everybody's just like, we got to rush to get out to go and take an hour and a half drive to Angel's home, but we just got our water turned on. Stacey's the only person at the time that has water. While they're all getting ready, Stacey loses water. So it's just, everybody's just frustrated, right? And then Giselle, who got an issue with Angel because of the room that she's staying in, she is adding fuel to the fire. So it's becoming a terrible disaster. And Angel's hosting isn't helping, right? So it's all a nightmare. Everybody's frustrated. They don't have the water. They can't really get ready like they want to, but they somehow manage to get ready. Giselle makes a big deal in front of the cameras that she had to take a whole bath because they kept on losing water, killing the brand, killing Angel's commercial. And that's what, she wanted to do because she was pissed off with her accommodations. So anyway, they get to Angel's event at her home. Angel, I don't understand this trip. I don't understand. I'm trying to give you grace because this is your first trip, but I just don't understand the trip. It's like you drop the ladies off, you do a breathe in, you drop the ladies off, you confront them about some rumors, then you do a breathe in and breathe out wellness exercise, and then you leave. And they're like, "Where are you going?" Not only do you leave, you take half the cast with you. And you say it's because you don't want that dark energy from the other cast in your home. Okay. While you leave, they lose power and water. And it just becomes a whole nightmare. All for you to say, well, we are going to have lunch at my home. You bring them to your home, which is an hour and a half away, mind you. You bring them to your home. I will give you your tins. That food looked delicious. That wood fired salmon and them potatoes, Mike, I could taste it. And I just wanted a little nibble, a little nibble. It looked delicious. But when they get there, it's like these weird dudes that are like sitting down, smoking cigars, staring at them menacingly. And I don't get it. Like she brings the ladies in and she shows them the house and I'm like, oh, this is nice. And then she brings them out to these men and she like introduces them. And I'm like, why are they like, I don't understand. And I'm trying, girl, but I don't understand why those men were there, right? So I thought that they were just our husband's friends who were just there, but it seems like they were a part of your brand, your Wanderlust business. And I want to tell you right now that get them out of there. That's not going to work. You had these men make those women feel so unsafe. What makes you think that there are going to be women watching this who want to come on your trip and be treated terribly by the men? They just stared. They did not speak to them or anything. They just stared at them. And one guy just kept on smoking a cigar. And they're like, hi. They were all so uncomfortable. And I just did not understand. And Angel saying what these men, like she's introducing them. First of all, the women walk in, they're standing. These men are sitting down, smoking cigars. Angel introduces them. They don't get up. They don't wave their hand. They don't put their hand out to shake to go and greet them. They don't speak a word. They just stare at them and puff on their cigars. I want to let you know right now, Angel, if those men are a part of Wanderlust, you're going to have to refigure out a lot of things concerning your business before you launch it. They made those women feel completely unsafe. And I don't think you're going to be able to advertise to other women, because if those men reacted like that to your cast members who you're on a TV show with, women with no, celebrity behind them are not going to feel any safer. They looked and made them feel so uncomfortable. And I don't know if those men were there for you to introduce them so you can tell them, so you can, like, if she was introducing what they do. So I'm just like, are like the guy that the one who looked the meanest, is he going to sit down and talk about wealth branding? Because you kept on mentioning that that's what he does. But I'm just like, is he going to say anything? Is he going to tell us what he does? Like, it didn't make any sense. I didn't know why they were there. And I'm just like, girl, you need a win. Those men did not help. And they were so rude and disrespectful, because I'm just like, who raised y'all or who didn't? Because in what world does a group of women walk into your presence as a man and you just sit down and you don't speak to them? I was raised, if anybody walks into a room, I greet them. Like, you stand up, you say hi, how what? None of that. And they're going to be a part of your trip? Girl, I hope not. I hope the hell not. Absolutely. It was so weird. And they all felt uncomfortable when we're talking about it. Anyway, they all sit down and they eat that delicious wood-fired salmon. I know that salmon was good. Oh, I know that salmon looked good. Um, they immediately start talking about the issues with the home and the water, and Angel apologizes for that and takes responsibility. And listen, I get it, right? I get that you're just like, this is um out of my realm. Like there was nothing I could do with the water. I didn't know how to do it. The problem is they know that this is your commercial, and you pissed off a big dog. You pissed off Giselle. So she's going to nitpick and find every and anything wrong. So you saying these issues were out of your control, absolutely understand, absolutely get it, but it's on you as a host to fix those things right away. I will say she did give herself some leg to stand on when she was talking to the other ladies. She was just like, they never let me know. I didn't know that they didn't have water until they were coming here. Nobody said anything throughout the night. So it seemed like, although there were some unfortunate things happening, it did seem like they were letting a lot of stuff go. So the problem could get worse to, sabotage her trip. This is why y'all all needed to be together. This is why. This is why. Monique, I get what Monique sees, right? I get it. And I get how she can put two and two together. I'm not saying that this isn't the same thing, but I do think that it's a little different. Here is why. So Monique is now divorced, freshly, mind you, divorced, and she's, single, ready to mingle, living her best life. But she does this thing that a lot of people who, when they get out of a situation due to other people who are still in who are still in the same situation that they got out of, or they see similarities of a situation that they got out of. So Monique has made it her business to watch Angel like a hawk, because she thinks that Angel is going through the same thing that she went through, because she was a wag that was suffering. Oh, that's a bike. I was like, what the hell is this? Well, sorry, because she is somebody who went through something within her marriage. So she's like, oh, I see it. It's the same thing that happened with me. And I'm just like, unless you know that to be true, I don't think it's fair to put that on that woman, because you would not have want that to happen to you. And if you think that that Angel is going through the same thing that you went through in your marriage, Monique, why would you want to constantly expose that and make her situation hostile with her partner? That's all. I don't think it's coming from the best place, in my opinion. Because if you said that you were suffering through your marriage and going through so much, and you see that happening to another woman, why are you gossiping about it? Why are you antagonizing her when you see her? It doesn't seem like you want to help. And just because you see similarities doesn't mean that it is the same thing. Here's what I think is happening with Angel's husband. Angel's husband, and we talked about this before, Angel's husband is frustrated, does not like the show, and he does not like the ladies because of Angel. Does Angel have some issues in her relationship? Probably. But I don't think that's what the ladies are singing. I think that man does not like them because their wife constantly talks about how she hates them. And he can't act fake. He don't know how to be phony. So when he gets around those women, he gives off a great disdain. And he gives off that great disdain because his wife has an even greater disdain for the cast. So I'm not saying that, or she's going through things in her relationship. I don't know that. I don't think we've seen that. But I think what we are seeing is somebody who has been fed information and fed a narrative about the show. Whether correct or wrong, he is reacting to the information that he is receiving. And I think that Monique and the rest of the women are interpreting that as Angel having problems within her relationship. And what I'm saying is the issues that you're seeing with Angel and her relationship is not Angel's husband. It's Angel. She is the one that is making the situation the way it is. Because here we have this situation where Monique wants to do a pajama jammy jam at the cabin that the home that Angel has them staying in. She's like, oh, everybody come back. We'll do a fun pajama jam, and we can have a good time. And Angel's just like, oh, well, I have to check with my husband because he's had the kids all day. And Monique, because she thinks she knows Angel's situation, Monique goes, oh, well, he's the father. He can watch them kids. Those are his kids. He's fine. That's what he's supposed to do. And Angel goes, now, Angel, I keep on telling you, sis, you validate these women in their thoughts by the way you react. Why? Because at that hold down, that EBT hold down that they had, you were near tears talking about your husband, letting them know that y'all had a little disagreement in the car because he didn't want to come. But you conveniently left out that he did not want to come because you have told him how much you hate this show. And so he's like, if you hate the show, why are you doing it? Why are we going here? I don't want to go. You don't want to go. Why are we doing it? And she can't say, because I really like the popularity that this show is going to bring. It's a show that I've been watching for a really long time, and I want to be on this show. A lot of times people do not want to admit that they want to be a housewife because it's not something that, anybody should be aspiring to. But a lot of people want to do it, right? And so she probably doesn't want to admit that because of how she holds herself. And she probably wants people to think or come off as, oh, I don't really need this, but you want it. You really, really, really do want it. The problem is it's not happening the way you want it to happen. So anyway, Monique is interpreting what she thinks is happening with Angel's relationship. And after the ladies leave, Monique is in the car saying, see, I've been there. I know exactly what I can see it. She may be right. But I just don't get that it's coming from the best place, because I'm just like, would you have wanted your situation to have been handled like that by other cast members if it were you? Because when you were going through the situation, you loved the show. You didn't want anybody to see you like that or anybody to talk to you like that. You were ashamed. You were depressed. You were really going through it. So if you can see that in another woman, why are you handling her like this? It's weird, Monique. It's just weird based off of the things that you're saying about her, right? Because you're trying to make it seem like you care, but it really just seems like you're taking digs or kicking somebody when they're down. Anyway, there's also a scene where Angel is talking to her husband and asking him if she can basically, not if she can go, but like just discussing with him. And I get that. This is the thing. I get her saying, let me talk to him first, because, we have a schedule, we do things or whatever, where they probably put the kids down together, and that is their system. It would give me pause if she's saying she has to check with them because she doesn't know if he can watch the kids any longer. That's weird to me if that's what that is, right? He created them. He can watch them as long as he needs to. He can watch them as long as he needs to. You watched them kids when he was out on the field being a gladiator. He can watch them kids when you're at work. All he doing is sitting around with them mean men smoking cigars. He can watch the kids. Now, if that's the situation, I can't really rock with that. But I do understand checking in with your partner, being considerate, figuring out what they have on, schedule. Because if you told them that we finished filming at this time and they have something planned, you got to respect that, right? I get that. But if it's a situation where, I don't know if I could ask him to watch his children any longer, yikes. But we have a clear example of why that man acts the way he does on camera, because she's sitting talking to him about going to the pajama jammy jam. And he's like, all right, we'll just go. Do you want to go? And she's like, no, I don't want to go. So here it is. You are basically telling your husband that you are feeling forced to go do this and you don't want to do it. The way Angel was talking about the women is how she always talks about them. And that is why her husband acts the way he acts. I don't know if they have any issues in their relationship, but I think that his response to the women in this show is because of what his wife is telling him. That pillow talk is building up, and he is getting to a point where he's going to make her make a decision. Either you're going to stop complaining and just go film that show, or you're going to get off it because it's not making you happy. So again, I don't think that Monique is seeing what it is correctly. I think that she's looking at the husband. She needs to be looking at Angel. She is the one creating the hostility because she's telling him one thing and then performing another act for the women when she is in their presence. I will say she was trying to make up for the trip with a lot of them, especially Giselle, ordering her favorite drink or whatever. And Giselle's like, I see you're doing something, but it's not enough. It's so not enough. Giselle was just like, listen, I got us a place to stay. Pack your bags. To the rest of the ladies, she was like, pack your bags. We're getting out of here. We're not going to be staying in this cabin with no water. Like, that's absolutely ridiculous. And that place had to have been bad because everybody agreed with Giselle. Nobody gave it a second thought. Nobody was like, oh, I feel bad. Everybody was just like, bags are packed. When are we going? So, Angel, yeah, this is not the best commercial. This is not the best commercial. I also want to say this. When her husband pops off at the cast, get mad at her. Do not be saying, oh, he don't know how to talk to women. He is protecting his wife. He feels like his wife is in a hostile situation because of what she's saying. I don't like to defend a man of this much, especially a straight one, but we gotta see this for what it is. And she is putting him in a really bad situation for him to look a certain way without receipts that he is that way. And it's unfortunate. Yeah, that's all I want to say. Unfortunately for Angel, this was the bad commercial. It sucks, but you'll live. That's all I have to say about this episode. What do you guys have to say? Let's get into the comments. Hey, E for Empathy. E for Empathy said, hey, Nikki, hey, Star fam, happy Monday. How can I be both annoyed by Angel and GNA over the same drama? Here's the thing. Everybody's just frustrated. Cast and crew, because of this disjointed trip. I'm telling you, I worked on filming for one of these girls' trips. Excuse me. A lot goes into it. It is extremely stressful, even when they're all together at one location. I would hate to have worked a Housewives cast trip and they're in two different locations that's almost 2 hours away. I would have probably quit the show. So I would say give everybody some grace because this trip is just grueling and it doesn't have to be. Spency said, hey, Nikki and Star fam, I'm watching Real Housewives of Atlanta for the first time. This is cinema. Oh, you're going to love it. It is the best housewife franchise, especially the early years. Nothing tops them. Nothing. I'm at the part where Phaedra's real due date. You're watching a classic. Hello, Alicia. Thank you for being here. Hey, Bianca. Thank you for being here. Oh, thank you so much, Spency. Hey, B Wise, thank you for being here. Hey, Eltavina, thank you for joining us. E for Empathy said it feels like Angel didn't know that type of show she signed up for sometimes. I think it's one thing to watch the show and say what you will do, and then you get on the show and you're just like, oh my goodness, because it's what you end up singing, right? What ends up making it television, it's nothing like what it actually is when it's filming. And I think, and this happens a lot, that's why they should stop casting fans of the show, but I know it's really difficult at this point. But these ladies want to be on this show, and then they get on the show and they're just like, I didn't know it was going to be like this. So I think that's what's happening here with her. Bianca said, I'm tired of the Chris and Stacey thing coming up. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't have any weight. Both are denying it. What Monique doesn't care. So why does everybody else care? Eltavina said, Potomac is giving this season. And honestly, as Angel is starting to grow on me, but as Wendy said last episode, it's a bit too late. Yeah, It's a bit too late. And I think for me, it would not have been too late if she has shown growth. But she's meaner off the show. The interviews that her and Kiana do, their lives are just nasty. So for me, this would not have been too late if this would have been the trajectory that she stayed on. But as we see, since filming, she has gone back to the angel that we met in the beginning. And that's unfortunate. That's unfortunate. It's so good. You know what? You know we love watching Rob? It's because he's having fun. Rob is having fun. And honestly, that's what you need. You need to have fun on Traders. I think everybody gets too much in their head. So I'm glad that there's like a younger person on the show who is really just enjoying Traders for what it is. Rob reminds me of the way he's playing Traders is the way I remember playing Traders in college. It was fun. The older people don't be having fun. They're scared. They're not like enjoying the game like they need to. They're all taking it far too serious. And I love seeing Rob play because I'm like, this is how Traders is supposed to be played. It's never supposed to be that serious. El Tavita said, the thing with Angel is that she needs to be prepared to be whacked and whack them back because you really can't take this show serious. Like none of these ladies are serious. You got to be Stacey. Very true. That's why we love watching Stacey. Everything rolls off her back. Hey, Ramel. Ramel said, hey, Queen Nikki, watching at work. Thank you for being here. Ramel said, on my lunch, and I love your hair. Thank you. What are we eating for lunch, Ramel? Altavina said, Kay was high, all right. Like, please, ain't no altitude going to make you cry. Let's not next time, mama. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with her. Because she did say the altitude said that they're going to make her let everything out. And I'm telling you, I feel like her hostility towards Wendy is the fact that she's going through it in her relationship with Norbit. And I think that's why her mom doesn't like him because she knows what her daughter is enduring and she doesn't think that he's worth it. Altavina said, I like Angel this episode because she was being honest. It felt like finally, like when she didn't want to go to the sleepover, I was like, finally, mama, realness. Yeah, but I was just saying with that scene, that's why her husband acts the way he acts. Because Angel doesn't act like that around the ladies. But with her husband, she hates it. She doesn't want to do it. They get on her nerves. Please come get her. Leave. You can leave the show. And that's probably what he's saying to her. And that's probably where a lot of, if they're having issues, that's probably where it's from. Altavina said, what can you rent with $1,000 a month like this in Potomac area? I mean, maybe a house in the middle of nowhere, but okay. Let's look. Do I still have Airbnb on my phone? I told y'all my last Airbnb was that Airbnb that I did in New York for Christmas. Never again. Never again. I think I deleted the whole damn app. Oh no, I don't. I still have it. But I haven't been there since I haven't done an Airbnb since last year. And they keep on sending me coupons. Not gonna happen. I'm a hotel hoe from here on out. So let's see. Let's search our destination. Potomac, Maryland. We're going to do, okay, 2 adults, 2 children. No, 1 child, 1 infant. Baby, there ain't nothing under $7,000. There ain't nothing under 7,000. And even this Potomac, oh my God, I didn't know they was like this. This is LA prices. Boy, was I wrong. Even a pedestrian stuff is $3,500. Oh, Potomac must be, I gotta look up Potomac. They must be that. Oh, it's that Washington money. That's why. Yeah, there's nothing here under that's even 1,000 for 3 guests. Nope. So I don't know. Somebody lying. Somebody lying, child. Even Ruby said, tinfoil hat moment. Maybe Bobby didn't want to invest in a new place for Angel to be on this show, so she didn't want to pay a lot. I don't know. Well, here's the thing. If he didn't want to invest in a new place for her, can you blame him? She hates it. So he's like, why are we going to spend money on a home if you don't want to be on this show? Romel said, I understand what you're saying because I would have just walked away or said next topic. Yep. Elsavina said, the real gag is I think Angel and her man are richer than the rest of the cast. So, like, please, it's laughable. I'm glad she laughed right in their faces. Ha! Ha! It was the way they were clutching their pearls. I was like, Angel, stay right here. Stay right here. Guys, can we have a real moment? I am so disappointed in Tia. Listen, the grudge that she is holding with Stacy doesn't make any sense. And even Stacy was just like, I don't know. What is the issue? Like, why are you that mad at her? And you know, I love me some Tia, but it's isn't making sense. It's like it's giving that girl who will do anything to be a part of a clique, and I hate that for her because I never saw her like that. Ugh, I hate it. Ephraim said, when Tia said 1,000 won't get much, maybe in Nebraska, I felt seen and not offended. Yeah, child, people are probably trying to move to Nebraska because it's insane. Like, you can't get $1,000 will go nowhere in a lot of America, and that's ridiculous. Dare Show Podcast said, I was shocked that Angel moved on. I thought she was going to chew Wendy out. Me too. But not only did she move on with Wendy, she kept her energy with Giselle. She kept her energy with Giselle. She was just like, yes, I have a problem with you because no, I was not evicted. Really moved on from Wendy. I said, oh, why couldn't you have done this earlier? Yikes. You waited for us to feel like you were a colorist before you switched gears? Thanks a lot. Romel said, right, Dr. Wendy was being messy, and I'm happy I don't support her anymore. She's a follower to pick me like Sutton. I wouldn't go so far to say that, but I will say that was weird. That was weird that she clocked Stacy like that. Cameron said it sounded like they know the same person, but the other ladies were manipulating that they were lying, that they knew the same person to justify the information they threw out. The ladies were sloppy this episode. I absolutely agree. That's what I thought, Romel. That's what I thought. I was just like, this is a bad look for that realtor. Eltavina said when they were doing the meditation, it was so funny because Angel was sitting there like she was a big mama. And Stacey was like, I'm tired of doing jazz hands. Every time we get with Angel, we're doing jazz hands. We need to do something else. Very weird. Threw me off. BY said no realtor is going to ruin their reputation by selling out their client. Yes, it's not a good move. NC said protective. My girl Wendy was running her mouth, repeating information that she shouldn't have, and she knew it would get her in trouble if they called her realtor. That's what it felt like. Because I'm like, why you got mad at Stacey? Your girl. Why you mad at her over that? Unless something ain't right. Something ain't right. Romel said, I understand what you're saying, but Giselle and Ashley would never be in my house. Oh yeah, if I was Angel, I would never invite them in my house either. But there should have been a place for all of them to stay. Altavina said, but Nikki, Wendy was right. Like, now you have the brain to use and say, why not just call her when you also could have used that same brain to call up your friend representative? Oh, listen, I'm not saying that that's a wrong train of thought. I'm just saying, if that is your friend, why would you speak to her like that? Especially in a group where she's having a really hard time. It was weird. It was weird. BY said, I'm on vacation. I could not suffer without water. And listen, let me tell you something. I felt bad for Angel because I know this was her commercial. Terrible commercial, by the way, Angel. Terrible commercial. However, I would have been right with them ladies. They better than me. As soon as I lost water, I would have been out. I'm not toughing it out for a whole 24, 42 hours. No. As soon as I lost water, I'm gone. Because on vacation, let me tell you something. I'm working class when I'm home. On vacation, I'm a Sudanese princess, okay? Call me the Queen of Saudi Arabia. Everything is luxury. I'll pay the price when I get back home, okay? I'll eat some top ramen for a couple of weeks so I can splurge on a girl's trip. Oh, absolutely. That top ramen, it'll taste like a Wagyu steak with the memories from that trip when I was flexing. Oh, I used to love a good trip recovery because even though I was like, I cannot do anything for a month, I was so bad on vacation, I had a time and it was worth every penny. But yeah, I'm right there. I could not do, not on vacation. You're kidding me. You're kidding me. Me and my friends get into it all the time when we talk about our trips that we're going to do. I always let them know. I start off the meeting with, I'm grown. So if we are going to all travel together and do a trip, we got to do it like we grown. No sharing rooms. This ain't college. We're not teenagers. Own room, own bathroom. We are not, taking the local bus or the local train, unless it's New York City. Other than that, we are getting Uber X, or car service. I'm not trying a hole in a wall that's a hidden gem. No, we're going to all the bougie restaurants. I may go to a local juice bar that's walking distance from our 5-star hotel. No, I can't do it. I cannot do it. I am working class at home. On vacation, call me Oprah. So yeah, I get them. I'm not complaining. I would have been the same way. I would have been the same way. I'm not sure. I think they do. But I just felt like it was like a little weird for her to do it. But I think at least so soon, right? But I think they gave it to Angel because she moved. That's the thing. Angel is back in Colorado. So to extend the filming time, they have to like make something work. And what they made work was doing a girls' trip in Colorado where Angel is now living because they could not find a place to stay in Potomac. NC said, I may have garnered an ounce of respect for Angel if she actually called the realtor instead of saying no. She could have called everybody's bluff, but the fact that she didn't is questionable. That's the thing. So that's why I'm like, I don't know who to believe with her or Wendy. Wendy didn't want to call. Angel didn't want to call. Why? Get that heifer on the line. What was the conversation? If the realtor was smart, she wouldn't have picked up for none of them. Absolutely not. She would have been like, oh, them heifers is filming. Absolutely not. Drewski said, it really is quite bothersome how all of the Potomac trips are very low budget, which is crazy. Because they all are supposed to have some sort of money, especially in Potomac. Miss Brown Chicken said, I need someone to help me understand why nobody called Angel immediately that first night. I can't get over that. Because they wanted to make it worse. I don't think the rest of the ladies wanted to make it worse. I think Giselle was probably very convincing that, they'll take care of it in the morning because what can Angel do? It's dark out there. Nobody can come. We're all the way in the woods. Nobody can find us. It's not safe. We don't have any security. I think Giselle made the environment a lot more dangerous and hostile than it actually was. And so not calling her was to make sure everything that happened prolonged and ended up being worse than what it could have been had it been addressed immediately. Brown Sugar said, but also why wasn't Angel checking in the first night and the first morning to make sure they're comfy? That's very true. If this is your trip, right? Not only is this your trip, this is your trip that you're advertising as a commercial for your business. I would have been on it. I would have been on it. They were so weird, especially the one with the cigar. Why didn't they speak to them? Why didn't they greet them? It was like they were just judging them. Honestly, it looked like Angel was a madam and she brought her girls out to show her clients. and they were just standing there looking at who to pick. It was uncomfortable watching, so I know it had to be even more uncomfortable for them. E for Empathy said that man with the cigar made me, yeah, it was weird. They were all so weird, and I'm just like, you better not have them be a part of your business. Don't have them on them trip with those women, because they don't have the celebrity that Giselle has. Don't do that. It was just weird. It was so weird. I hope they that she explains what that was at the reunion, because that just wasn't a good look for her business. I mean, I wasn't already going to go on her wanderlust thing because of the horseback riding and the fishing. Everything else seemed fun. Like I might not look like it, but I'm a wilderness girl. As long as there's no bugs or wild animals. But I love the mountains and how beautiful it is. I can see myself having a good time on a trip like that. But it was already two activities that I'm just like, yeah, I'm not doing that. So why would I pay for that if there's like two major activities that I'm not going to do, right? Now, if I was somebody who loved fishing, or if I was somebody who loved horseback riding, would have been like, this is a trip for me. Seeing those men, absolutely, absolutely not. I would have been like, yeah, not gonna happen. Cancel my trip. Stop payment on my first payment. Call my bank. Say, yeah, take that out. It's not happening, because you're supposed to set this thing up like it's a safe space for women. So why would a man be there? And why are the men there? And why are they mean? You're like bringing them into a danger zone. Weird. NC said, I'm not surprised production left Monique's fourth wall, and production basically said, this is low budget ish, ain't going to be on us. That's exactly what it was. They were putting the blame on Angel. And listen, it's her trip. They just give her the money, right? And she plans the trip. They will have somebody sit down with her and be like, this is a great idea. This is a great idea. But at the end of the day, it's up to her, and she has to make that budget work. And this is what she did with the budget. Also being said, also, Nikki, did you watch the Carlos King interview with Stacey? It was such a key. No, I did not. Is that new? Gracie said that was so odd. Who doesn't say hi to people? That it was just very weird. They were not welcoming at all. And I'm like, you want to bring your customers to girl, don't what? And she was introducing them as if they were going to be a part. She said he's a partner of Wanderlust, and I was just like, I don't think so. Also, Angel, if this business is going to be marketed to women, you're going to have to lessen the input of men, because it's giving a very male-centered woman putting on a wellness retreat for women. And that's just a recipe for disaster. That's just because the reason why I say this, because these women have to feel protected by you. And if they are not even centered in your world, how could you protect them? This was a terrible commercial. I'm so sad. Miss Brown Sugar said NC13, except what did NC413 4713 said, except what did one realtor alleged gossip have to do with the lie that she was evicted? Either way, that realtor not looking good. Ryan says those men were so rude. Only the married one spoke. And did you see how he felt like he was like, not doing the right thing by saying hi and like laughing because it was uncomfortable? He was uncomfortable. The men were not I don't know. Maybe they were told to do that. I don't know. It was weird. NC said Angel's introduction to those men was cringe. What the hell does those board diversifying the outdoors even mean? And why the hell should we care? We're supposed to be impressed. Yeah, and again, I was just like, these men, and I'm not saying that they are. I'm saying they don't appear to be safe. And not as if, oh, they're going to attack us, they're going to harm women or whatever like that. But it's like they're not welcoming, they're cold. It just they're uncomfortable in the sense where I just don't feel like you should bring any other women in their presence if that is how they're going to treat them. because this is a wellness retreat. Those women are in your care. You have to care about them and care about them enough to protect them and not put them in situations that will make them uncomfortable. Like, you brought men into this environment where they're supposed to be safe, and everybody just felt sick to their stomachs because of how they treated them. Ooh, me too. Hope that's why I said I want them to talk about it at the reunion, because if they're getting a bad edit, let's talk about it, because this is bad for the brand. Very creepy. And he just kept on staring at them. Didn't even nod, stand up and say, "Hi, I'm Chuck." None of that. Weird. I didn't want to say it. I didn't want to say it. Thank you, Ramel. NC said, Angel introducing those. Oh, I got that. Let me. Oh, we got a super chat. We got a super chat. Thank you, Rashana. Rashana says, thank you so much for the super chat, Rashana. Rashana says, Angel may be struggling with postpartum. The marriage seems fine. If he didn't leave her after stealing that money, he's going to stick beside it. I totally forgot about that. I totally forgot that she robbed him and he ain't go nowhere. I know that's right, Angel. I know that's right. I know that's rob him and make him marry you. Yeah, I forgot about that. You know, that is true. She may have just done this show a bit too early. I would say, Angel, leave the show, give it 2 years and come back. Give it 2 years and come back. I think you got it. But you just need to give yourself some time. Like, how can you? Look how she talks about them. He is protecting his wife. And that's why I'm just like, I don't think he's the bad guy here. I think he's reacting in a normal way because his wife is feeding him this information about this show. You will watch a man act like that. You know what I mean? Not one, but it's just like, at least he's showing that he got her. He got her. And I loved how, it was just some little things, but I love how when it was raining, he came out and covered her and made sure she didn't get wet to greet the ladies. It's the little things. It's the little things. Oh yeah, I briefly spoke about Tia and Stacey. I don't like it. From Tia, because it doesn't make any sense to me from Tia, because I just feel like Tia's just being a follower, and I hate that for her because I just didn't see her like that. I didn't see her as a flunky, right? Like, you're a Nigerian princess. Why are you anybody's minion? What the hell is going on? So yeah, that was I'm Team Stacey. Like, Stacey hasn't done anything to me to make me on this season yet not rock with her. Like, she's had a flawless season so far, in my opinion. Give me Shelter said, I appreciate Angel's husband refusing to let them play in his face. He said that they will be setting him up for crimes while Michael Darby is still walking this earth, period. And he said, Nikki, what were your thoughts on them again coming for Stacey? I'm glad Stacey called out Tia for being whichever way the wind blows, as long as that wind is anger and aggression towards Stacey. I'm glad that she called it out too, because it's what's happening. There is no real beef with Tia and Stacey. Tia is the only one keeping this thing going and saying how Stacey disturbs her spirit. How? Stacey's just like, that is you. Like, what am I doing? We don't even interact that much. And I let you into my life more than I let anybody else. So what is this issue that you have? I'm fake? What is it? And I'm just like, listen, Tia, if the issues that you have with Stacey are things that we can't see, I can't speak on that. I'm only going off of what the show felt comfortable enough to show us. If that's what they're giving us, you are looking crazy. You are looking like a flunky. So please, when that reunion happens, come with some receipts, because this is not a good look for you. It's weird. It's weird. Romel said no shade, but everyone keeps on saying that her husband Bobby is fine. But I'm looking at those ears. But I understand everybody likes it. They're like, oh, he's cute. He is so cute. Give Me Shelter said, I think T was advised wrong. Somebody told her Stacey was easy pickings or the person everyone wants to gang up on, but Stacey is unflappable. Tia played herself. She did. And she didn't have to because she had such a great season. Here's the thing. Tia is the only character on this show, her and Stacey, to be quite honest with you. Stacey would have been able to remain neutral had Giselle not come for her. But Tia is the only one at this time who can play the neutral character and it not be a problem. Why? Because of her great family. Her family is such good TV and she is such great with comebacks. And in the beginning, she was able to get into it, but move on so easily with the other women and stay out of the mess that she was becoming the central character. She was on her way to being the mother of the show. Or, hold that spot until Karen tries to take it. But she was on her way to being that. And then out of nowhere, she just became this flunky for Angel. I don't know what happened, but it's such a twist that I did not see coming. And remember, guys, we talked about it when we saw her on Watch What Happens Live. And the way like she was like talking about people, we were like, who is this? This is weird. And then as the weeks go on, we start to see that side of Tia that we saw on Watch What Happens Live. And I'm just like, oh, yikes. Yikes. Yeah. Unfortunate. And she did not need to be that. Hey, Poliver Girl. Poliver Girl said, hi, Nikki. Hi, Star fam. I'm behind and catching up, but I like. Thank you. Yes. I keep on forgetting to say this. Please make sure you like the video, family. Thank you so much. Asian New York TV said, I was really annoyed by Monique questioning Stacey about what was said to her ex and the repercussions from it. It's like, girl, you was going to get those repercussions as soon as the show aired anyway. So here's the thing. Monique is not that bright. And I hate to say that, but Monique can never see when she's getting played. It's like, put down them crystals and freaking oils and let's start using this and your discernment. Like, you're getting played again and you cannot see it. Girl, this is weird. Very weird. Oh, that would have been terrible for her. The way Giselle would have ran with that bone at the reunion. Ramon said, I think we all would be mad to not have water, and I'm going to go to a hotel. I wouldn't waste a second. If I was staying at a home in the woods and we had no running water and the heat was broken, I would have looked right at my producer and said, get me to a Four Seasons immediately. Don't they got a Four Seasons in Aspen? Baby, they do. Yep, that's exactly where I would have been. I would have been at the Four Seasons in Aspen as soon as that water went out and as soon as that heat decided to conk out. I'm gone. Oh, I am gone. Give Me Shelter said, Gina from OC used her role as a realtor to create a storyline against Jen Padrantry. I'm surprised she was able to keep her license. Jen is better than me because I would have come for her license. Does Gina have a real license or is it like play? Because has she sold anything? All she does is tell us she sold stuff. We ain't seen nothing. Romel said, Nikki, we need to pop in and go help Angel against Giselle and Ashley. She needs a sister to help her because her best friend forever, Kay, just be sitting. Kay is something going on with Kay. That altitude got her. Kay is gone. She is nowhere to be found. But listen, Angel got to take it because she has to. Angel got to learn how to fight these ladies. That's the only way she's going to be able to stay in this, is if she can fight back. Seem said, I think Monique is going against Angel because she's the reason for the extended filming. She's trying to get back in. I love it when you guys make sense. I love it because I never even thought of that. That's a great angle. Hey, Kayla. Kaylin said, Angel is not playing a game right. She still hasn't had a moment for me. Yeah, and that's unfortunate because if she is able to let stuff roll off her back and move forward, all she got to do is learn how to read. That's it. But she's so sensitive. I wonder if she's the baby of her family. She is so sensitive. And I'm like, you can't be sensitive like that and be on this show, girl. That is not going to work for you. I'm sorry. It's not going to work for you. Give Me Shelter said, I'm not feeling Angel, but I was thinking that maybe she would, as Real Housewives of Potomac needs. The OG are fake and boring, which makes them reckless. Bring back Angel and drop Giselle and Ashley. They aren't needed. I would say get rid of Ashley because Giselle and Karen are good together. They're a good dynamic. They are the perfect frenemies. The only reason why I think that Angel might not work out is because she makes it seem like she has issues in her relationship. And I think if she wants to keep that relationship intact, she may have to leave this show because her husband is being made out to be something he's not, because he is trying to protect her from an environment that she put herself in. So they got to figure that out. They got to figure that. Oh, absolutely. I do not play that. I do not play that. We, my family and I, we are very careful about who we let in our home. And if we have like maintenance men come in, or you're like a cable guy or something, or anybody who has to like make a house call that does not live here and is not somebody we invited in, the way we pray that home down, throw a little salt. Absolutely not. And I'm telling you, I have synced it. The wrong person coming to your home, throw the energy off. Now everybody fighting and crying and depressed. Open the windows. Tell them to get out. You can't stay here. Hallelujah. Molly said, I thought that too. I thought she was trying to set up Giselle or Kiana, or maybe she was sending a message to the ladies like, that's a terrible look, Angel. If that's what you were doing, that is a terrible look for you and those men. Asia New York TV said, everybody talks about how bad Potomac and Atlanta trips are, but I believe I've seen them take multiple trips to beautiful places. I mean, they just came from Nevis. That was expensive. Oh, yes. When the ladies feel like doing up a good trip, they can do it. But that hold down was unforgivable. Give Me Shelter said, for the first time in years, I am team men. Those women accuse innocent men of really violent crimes. Ain't no way I'm faking being nice to them after they push an angry black man narrative on TV. I absolutely understand that. If that is what was happening there, I don't think that's what they were doing. I don't think those men were being mean to them because they were standing up for black men that have been wronged on this show. It was just a bad look. It was a bad look. NC said, LMFAO and Madam, but you're so right. She totally gave that she was running a brothel. It was weird. And just, I was like, what was that? I would have been the same way. Like, why is this happening? They were like, why were they looking at us like that? It was such a weird scene. Molly said, I believe they mean WAG rumors. The awkward stare down with the men told me boys best friend. Whatever it was weird. It was weird. Decenter immediately, because I'm telling you, I don't see that them men being good for business. That is, fix that now, sis. Fix that now. Allegedly, the rumor is she stole $20,000 from him, and the ladies were talking to her about it, and she was just like, "That's not true." And Ashley was like, "Girl, if it is true, that's great. Like, you was able to rob him, and he still stayed with you. What you doing to that man? Listen. If you can rob him and he stays, you that girl." Molly said maybe they expected the women to flock to them just because they have money, as if the ladies aren't housewives. And see, and that's the reason why that scene should not have happened, or they should have been introduced better, because now we have all of these things flying around about what we've seen. It was not explained. They did not look welcoming. The ladies said that they were uncomfortable. It was odd. Very, very odd. Caitlin said, I can't unsee what I've seen from Angel. LOL. She didn't come across the way she thought in these interviews. Here's the thing. Everybody in Angel's orbit, including herself, just comes off mean. It's like a very nasty demeanor. It's such a dark cloud. Like, even when we met her sister was like mean in their scene. And then she brings us to Colorado, and we meet these men, and they're mean. It's like everybody in your orbit is just mean. That has to be draining. Oh yeah, who doesn't have a look of discernment? Like, it's like, girl, you cannot see that you are constantly being played. After what Giselle did to you on the last season that you were on the show, we remember the scene where you were crying to your pastor and you were just like, oh, I can see right now, it wasn't Candace, it was me. I allowed myself to think those things. And you were crying and repenting. And then you did a 180 and was just like, oh no, I'm still mad. Candace pushed me. What? And even after seeing all of that, to this day, you still can't see that Giselle orchestrated that nonsense? And now you still can't see that she's orchestrating new nonsense for you? It should have been so clear to you when you came on the show and they immediately started talking to you about Chris. And when Kierna tried to give that bone to you and she failed miserably when y'all were at that bar during Pride, and she was like, so does Chris, do you and Chris know each other? Stacey, like, what happened with that? How you feel about that, Monique? And you were like, what? Your first time back. And they say, and Kierna brings up Chris and Stacey. You can't clock what that is? It's a scheme that Todd set up. Like, how do you not see that? Which is crazy to me. Which is so crazy to me that she cannot see that. And I'm like, your discernment is off. So off. Molly said, someone said Stacey was being microaggressive towards Tia, as if calling Stacey Detroit is, oh my God, they're trying to find anything. It's so crazy for anybody to have a problem with Stacey this season, guys. I'm telling you, if Stacey was horrible, production would have showed us. There's no reason for them to not like her. It's weird. It's weird. Maybe that's it, but I'm just like, Tia, do you think that she's really moving here? Listen, she working hard for that client. Hard for that client. Zora said, I'm with you. I don't like people in my apartment for that same reason. Oh, absolutely not. I do not play. I have seen it. But mind you, I grew up in the Deliverance Church, so I've seen some things. And I know people walk with a lot of stuff. You got to be real careful about who you letting through your the threshold of your front door. Oh, I don't play that. I do not play that. Who coming up in here? Because it will they will come in your home, drop off whatever mess they got on them, leave them demons and warlocks for you to fight. And they done got them off of them. They didn't defecated demons in your home and left. And now you got headaches. You keep on falling down the steps. You got an attitude for no reason. Your baby keep on coughing like, what's wrong? Why you got a cold? It's the summer. What the hell is going on? Forks and knives keep falling out. Y'all upstairs in bed. Why the hell are the knives on the floor? I know I sound crazy, but I'm telling you the truth. Like, why the door keep on opening? What the hell is that? Them demons. Them demons that person that you did not properly vet, they dropped them off in your home. I have seen it. The most vivid thing I can remember is this maintenance man came to my home. And I'm telling you, he had to have about 4 demons that guard the gate of the ninth gate of hell. He had to have about 4 of them on him. I'm telling you, that man didn't even step foot in my home. He just came to make a maintenance check. We didn't let him in because we were not. He like came halfway in, and we were just like, we don't have time right now. We have to go. But that was just enough. That 1 foot was enough to release him. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, release him. And he released them demons out of nowhere. Everybody in my house started arguing. And to this day, we don't know what we were mad about. It took me going, guys, what happened? And we just all started saying like, oh, I really don't know. We were just fine. And then we were just like, him. We didn't know what he stepped in our house for 2 seconds, changed the entire atmosphere. Girl, I don't play. My mom was like, I should have prayed. Whenever my mom like doesn't pray at a certain time, she always blames us. She's just like, I should have prayed. Oh, Lord. Hey, Simply Simone, thank you for being here. Spency said, wait, Nikki, I have to know your thoughts on Kim from Real Housewives of Atlanta. Why do they have all these Black women around a conquistador? Oh, you in the early stages. That's because Bravo was afraid that their fan base at the time, because until Atlanta was put on Bravo, Bravo's fan base was majority middle-aged white moms. Atlanta brought the black people, brought the blacks. Like, we weren't watching Bravo until Atlanta. That was mainly a show for middle-aged white housewives. And they thought they wanted to do Atlanta, but they did not want to do Atlanta and lose their fan base. So they had to have a character on the show that their current fan base at the time could identify with. That's the only reason why Kim was there, because if you go to them early interviews where Nene was the one. That's why Nene always acted the way she acted, because there was a casting notice put out by Atlanta casting directors who are working with Bravo to cast an Atlanta housewife show. And they asked women to gather up their friends and present them to casting and come audition for the show. Nene acts the way she acts because she put the original cast together. They were actually all friends and associates. So she goes to the casting. She brings Sheree, because they all did their individual audition tapes. They did one as a group, and then they all did their individual tapes, and then they talked about how they're all connected, and they showed their houses and their lifestyles and how much money they had. Then they all got called back together. Casting really liked them, but it was something that they could not quite put their finger on with them that was not working. So Nene did not get a call from them. She's just like, wait a minute. I know we ate that audition up. What's the problem? So she calls casting, and casting is just like, well, we need to diversify. They were just like, we like you, but we just need some diversity in the cast. And Nene said, she went, you need somebody white? Because I got a girl named Kim. And she said that her and Kim were associates. They weren't really good friends, but they hung out from time to time. And she was just like, I have somebody who is white. We're really, really close to a certain extent, right? Just enough for the show. And she would fit in with everybody. She knows a few people, and I think we will all mesh together. So that's when they auditioned Kim. Then they brought everybody back and auditioned them all together. And that's when Bravo was just like, we got our cast for the first season of The Real Housewives of Atlanta. So that's why Nene acts like that, because she feels like she was the one. Listen, she was the one to not only go to the casting call, not only reach out to casting, but she not only made sure that she was on the show, but she made sure that everybody else was on the show. She put together the first cast for The Real Housewives of Atlanta. So that's why she acts the way she acts. And when she started falling out with the ladies, she was getting angry because she felt like there should have been some loyalty, because she felt like she gave them a great opportunity. She did, right? But that still didn't cause for her to treat them the way that she treated them. So you can't get mad at them for sticking up for themselves. Even though you gave them a great opportunity, you're not going to piss on them. And her biggest issue was with Sheree, because Sheree was the first person that she reached out to do the show with her. Because casting like Nene, they were interested in Nene, but they're like, what else? What do you have? Like, what's your friend group like? And she introduced her friend group to the show, and Sheree was the first person. So she had real big beef with Sheree and Kim, because she felt like she not only did she have a kind of relationship with them, they were people that she made sure was on the show and really pushed them forward to casting. So she feels like she is not only responsible for Atlanta, which I'll give it to her, but she's also responsible for the platforms that those ladies had. And she just wanted a bit more loyalty. Understandable, but you can't get mad at them if they don't want to be talked to like they're garbage. So that's why she's on there, because they needed a white woman on the cast. One step and everybody was fighting. That's all it takes. That's all. My grandmother did not play that. My grandmother did not play. I'm telling you, she would do a deep cleaning in her home, clean every crevice. After everything was cleaned and sanitized and smelling good, she got that salt and she went over every doorway, every opening in the home, every window, every doorway, every threshold. She didn't play that. She did not play that. E for Empathy said, I use black salt at the threshold of my door. Just reminded me to put more out, Nikki. Child, especially when the barrier is broken. Oh, absolutely demonic. Absolutely demonic. We've had issues with him since. My God, today. A creepy spirit. It's gone so far out where we have told our housing manager, please get somebody else. That man does not make us, we don't feel safe. We just like, we've had incidents with him. We're just like, yeah. That one moment, it was a precursor to what he was bringing in. So yeah, absolutely demonic. Well, they all looked a mess at the beginning of that. They all were shopping at Rainbow, acting like they had all this money. And what the richest one to this day on that show, Candy. Spency said, wow, Nene is iconic. Kim was never beating the mistress allegation. Sheree is also a hot mess these seasons. Listen, they were good. They were good. And remember, at this time, they're all friends. So the arguments and stuff that they're getting into, that, they're just doing it up for the show. It starts getting real later on in the seasons, and that's where it gets sad, because you see them friendships really start to break up. Give Me Shelter said, between Disney and Bravo, the real issue with Black representation has always been gatekeepers. Absolutely. Black Panther was the biggest Marvel film And now they don't promote their black shows. Why? Well, it's because of who owns and runs the networks now. We're knee deep in fascism, right? And we've already talked about this. This is white America's last stand. We are living in the death rattle of white supremacy. So, what is happening now? They are making a grand charge, taking over everything, award shows, all kinds of media. Because when you control the media, you control the narrative. That's why you have CBS looking like TBN. You know what I mean? Saying the great Marco Rubio, like, you know what I mean? His Highness Trump. It's really, really weird right now. But the great thing about it is the people have not been convinced. So they're putting out all of this propaganda, spending all of their money to make us believe a narrative to control us, but the majority is not fooled or convinced. So there's some hope there. But the problem is our networks and our companies have been bought out by these billionaires and they're all merging, right? So now we're starting to get like two white nationalist evangelical families running all of the media, owning all of our stores and our companies in America. And so that's why you have to be real strategic about where you spend and what you watch, because you want to starve out those companies, those families that are really poisoning our environment and putting us as a nation in a very, very vulnerable place. So that's why I was telling everybody when they were getting upset about Sinners. And I was just like, how in the hell did you guys think that Sinners is going to do a sweep under fascism? Guys, these big magazines that are owned by these white nationalist billionaires were doing hit pieces on Sinners before, like the first week it came out, not even the first week, 2 days in, Variety was doing a hit piece on Sinners. It took Ben Stiller using his fame to be like, yo, this is crazy. The movie has been out for not even 42 hours. How is it failing? Not only has it been out for under 42 hours, it is over for performing what we expected. What are you talking about? But because we're in fascism, when they saw how powerful that movie was becoming, they knew that they had to stop the momentum. And so they're going to try to convince you during award season that that wasn't a good movie. They're going to try to make you think what you saw, what you witnessed several times didn't happen. Why? Because it's worked so long. It's worked for them for so long. They have always been able to convince the masses that what they see, they didn't actually see. But baby, something has happened. The spell is broken. Everybody is waking up. It's not working. So I mean, I get everybody being disappointed about what's happening with Sinners, but don't be. It has to happen. It has to happen for what's new and better to come. But it's unfortunate because that is a great piece of art and it will stand the test of time. And that's the great thing. So, and everybody's wealthy that I'm talking about. So they'll be fine. They'll be fine. But that's what's happening right now. So our media is going to look very, very crazy. The shows are getting whiter than they've ever been. And it's just going to be like that. It won't be like that forever. And it won't be like that for a long time. But right now, this administration is controlling the narrative. But be vigilant. The pendulum will swing back. Yeah, she was a wag to that cockeyed bully. Thank God. I don't know how some women are able to do it. Like I can't do it for money. I just could not I don't care how much money that man had. I could not let him jump on top of me and produce children. Thank God her son got her genes. My God, today. That wasn't nice. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. That was not nice. That was not. Thank you, Lord, for correcting me. Because that wasn't nice. I'm just saying. I couldn't do it for money. You're welcome, Fitzy. Give Me Shelter said, where can we find black salt? I wanted to. Do I have to order from Amazon? If you order black salt from Amazon, it won't work. It won't work. Find someplace local. Oh yes, my family has been in Philly for, I keep on changing it. I go from 7 to 5 generations. I will have the correct number, but we originated from Savannah. My family was enslaved, and my family was brought from the beautiful continent of Africa, somewhere in the West, and brought to Savannah, Georgia. That's where we were first brought to. We escaped, hello, to Philly. And so that is where all of us came. Like we were a part of the ones that left with Harry. When Harriet took off running, my people said bet. So we fled all the way to Philly, but my roots is in Savannah, Georgia. And the funniest thing about it, my Savannah, Georgia family looks just like they look just like me. It's like a bunch of me's with the thickest Southern accents and jerry curls. It is hilarious to see. Like when we have our family reunions, it is hilarious to see because it's just like you're looking at a mirror, but it's like a deeply Southern version of yourself. But yeah, Savannah, Georgia, what's up? Oh, I'm done talking about the review. You know, we just be on here talking after I do my review. But thank you for being here, Jazzy. She would be good on Traders. Let me tell you something. The Housewives are good. They're just not the brightest tools in the basket. Like if the Housewives had discernment, they would eat Traders up. Giddy Shelter said, oh, Nikki, I don't know if you're comfortable discussing Las Culturistas. Even people who don't know who they were are, yeah. If y'all want me to talk about it, I think I'll do it separately because that is so layered. Thumbs up if you want me to do a live about that. I will, because I do have thoughts, and I'm not surprised. That's all I'll say. But if you want me to talk about that, thumbs up, and I'll make it a part of just chatting. Tifa, what's up? Says Sinners doesn't have a white savior. That's why they can't. Like, hello, guys. This is America, right? This is America. We're also knee deep in fascism. I love y'all. I love y'all. I love y'all. I love y'all. We gotta tap into our discernment because although I knew that Sinners is a masterpiece, from working in this industry, I knew that Black spiritual powerful film that ended with the Klan being killed was not sweeping the Oscars or award season. Ryan knew that. That's why he don't care. Everybody is crying and falling out, and Ryan Coogler is just like, what's up? I love that he does not code switch. Like, Ryan doesn't care. He does not care about those award shows. He just wants to do the work. Ryan is only showing up to these award shows because he's showing up to work. That's a part of what you have to do because these companies put a lot of money into campaigning for these awards. So you got to show up. He don't care. He does not care. He already know what it is. He just wants to do the work and make great art. And that's what he does. Give Me Shelter said Hollywood and TV networks forget they can't make us watch their slop, and that is evident by the film and TV landscape. People are slowly turning them off. Coogler owns his films and they are vexed. That's what's happening. You can't stop it. There's too many people waking up. You can't stop it. It's over. It's over. It's just like we're on the Titanic, but unfortunately for those who are still on it, the rest of us are on lifeboats, paddling to safety. Those who, listen, a lot of us put on our life vest, jumped into them lifeboats immediately after that election because we knew what it was. And we got on out. There's still people on that sinking ship. And it's like, hope you can swim. Or hope you find some wreckage to hang on to. My God, it's over. We are never coming back from these people. This administration, oh, it's over, guys. It's over. I am hopeful that what will come after this will be better, but it will never be the same. Thank God. Spency said, I'm sorry, Sinners is so much better than one battle after another. Listen, I saw Sinners. I didn't see one battle after another. I will at some point. Here is the thing. When a lot of white film bros hype up a film, I know it's not for me. I know it's not for me. No way we have the same taste or the same worldview. And it is too many white film bros saying that this is the best movie ever made. I can't trust it. I can't trust it. I'm like, yep, nope, 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 nope. It should have been a blowout. There's no film that came close to Sinners. And even, especially the one I didn't watch. Like, that was an original piece of, like, that's the thing. He's going up against people who, you know, took somebody else's work and made their film. And that happens all the time. There's nothing wrong with that. But I'm just like, from the beginning to the end, what Sinners is was never done before. Not only was it never done before, it had such a powerful story, phenomenal directing, phenomenal acting, phenomenal music and cinematography, and icing on the cake, it was a film juggernaut. It made everybody wealthy, including Ryan. Nothing comes close to that film. They checked off of every box and then some. Nothing comes close to it. But if you know what we know, you know that they are going to get their just due at the NAACP Image Awards. That's what we need to be looking for. It won't happen in these award shows. Now, had our president been black, had our president been a black woman, Sinners would have sweeped. Sinners would have sweeped. But here we are. Drewski said, Bob was mean and abusive to Sheree. Ugly was the least of what I called him. Child. Yeah, I don't get it from Amazon. Don't get it from Amazon, and don't get it from. I would just say I wouldn't do certain things from certain cultures and get it from people who are not from that culture. Ephraim Empathy said, I buy black salt from a local. Gotta go local. And if you're in Philly, you can find it anywhere. You could probably find some from a spice store, but I would probably go to a spiritual store too. Let me get a couple more and then let me get out of here. Give Me Shelter said they awarded Amila Perez last year. I knew they didn't care. Yeah. But see, this is the thing. This has been in the works for so long, guys. None of this is shocking. Hey, Art World, thank you for being here. Tifa said, in the words of Marshall, yep, it's only here so he won't get fined. Yep. He know what it is. He works in his industry. He knows what it is. He's just coming there, looking nice, having a ball, eating great food, and then going back to make more great art. And that's what you got to do. Especially if you're a black and proud person in this industry, you just got to be like, it is what it is. Let me do my work. Or you can, it's only two ways you could be in this industry as a black person. You're either going to be a minstrel / step and fetch it, or you're going to be Tupac with less bravado. And that's in a sense of seeing this industry for what it is, having the discernment to know when to speak, when not to speak, how to connect, and how to do the work and get the message across without the oppressor seeing it until it's too late. It is. It is what it is. But, you know, And that's why you have all of these people who are winning these awards, and they're telling Ryan and they're telling Michael, oh, I'm sorry, this should have been you. They're all going to give everybody who wins over Sinners is going to give Sinners the Macklemore treatment. I can't believe I'm up here. I really thought that it was going to be you. It should have been, and you know that. You know that. Oh, we're going to see so many people, especially at the Oscars. Oh, I saw Sinners so many times. I just knew you were going to win. I watched all your movies growing up and I was inspired by your work, Michael. I just knew that this was yours. They're going to Macklemore the hell out of that cast. Get ready. Get ready. It already is. And that's why I've just been saying, influencers, you got to pivot. You got to pivot. You got to pivot. Because the thing that's going to happen, it's already slowly happening, right? When it becomes like crunch time. Because we're in the crunch, but everybody's acting real delusional. When it becomes crunch time, I'm telling you, it's going to take that one popular influencer who tries to sell something so ridiculous on her TikTok or Instagram, and the comment section is going to light her up. And then it's going to be a domino effect. And the season of the influencer will be over. It will hit the celebrity world as well. It won't hit as hard in the celebrity world as it's going to hit with influencers, because influencers are just a peg up, right? They can always come down. Celebrities, by the time they get to that part, especially those who are talented, it's so much work that has been put into them getting that status. So if you're like an influencer or just a socialite, you are going to come down easier than a celebrity with an actual talent, because this is what happens. Gifts and callings come without repentance. It's just like, oh, eat the rich, but my God, can she sing? Oh my God, eat the rich. But how does he know how to play that piano like that? Those chords, it like spoke to my soul. So that's what's going to help. That's what's the talented ones. That's what's going to hold them over, that talent. So the talented celebrities will be able to survive this, because that is going to be the new wave that's going to take over. Artists. People are going to be looking for people who actually move them. People who actually have not just kind things to say, but art that not only makes them feel, but makes you want to be a better person. Those are going to be the people that are going to be able to survive this. I was watching Mark Ruffalo at the Golden Globes, and I'm like, if the celebrities at this freaking award show are smart, they will be following his footsteps. Because what's going to happen is everybody is going to remember those who could say something who didn't. And they are going to put those who did say something at the forefront. So right now, he's blacklisted by a few networks. So he's not getting the work that he should. But when the pendulum swing back, that brother gonna eat. Not brother, but you know what I mean. He gonna eat, because he's always stood 10 toes down and never wavered, no matter what it cost him. And because of that, he is going to reap so much. And what he is going to reap is what others should have had as well. So he's going to be reaping the things that weren't even his, right? He's going to be, reaping harvest of things he didn't even plant, because those people who planted that seed did not do right by their work, their audience. When you had the time to speak up, you won that freaking award the day after ICE shot a woman in her head 3 times and said nothing and thanked the studios. The world was watching you and you said nothing. especially when your movie that won was about immigration. What are we doing? Everybody, like, just because it's not happening now doesn't mean that the effects have not been felt. And that's the problem with the rich. They completely underestimate the power of the poor and working class. But that's fine. We like being an underdog. When that pendulum swing back, my God, today. My thoughts on Candy versus Todd is that she made the right decision. Here's the thing: Candy's a very busy woman. It is very smart for her to not fight this man for custody and get this divorce out of the news immediately and make this divorce as cordial as it can be, because at the beginning, middle, and end of the day, that lady is a mogul. She's a mogul. No shade, she had no business becoming a mom again. Even her daughter Riley was like, you don't have the time, why are you having kids? But the man that she was with wanted more children, right? Because Todd felt like, he not only didn't get to raise his daughter, it wasn't her life, because he didn't even know that she was she was his. When they reconnected, she was already an adult. He wanted a chance at being an actual father. And that's what happens in relationships. You gotta, especially in marriage, you gotta compromise. And she compromised. And they got these two beautiful children. Well, these are really young children, and they need a parent. They need their parents. They need their caretakers, right? But then you have this lady that is the breadwinner for an entire bloodline. She got to make some money. She got to keep that money in. I don't think that Candy is out there chasing dollars because she's greedy. I think she's out there getting the opportunities that she can because she's a smart businesswoman, but also she takes care of a lot of people. That I personally know. That's why I don't try to be too hard on that lady, because I'm just like, there's a whole town in Atlanta that's eating off of her. My God, today. But it's like, I think she made the best decision that she could for her. I wouldn't fight the parent that is going to be a constant for custody, especially if you're going to be on Broadway and then filming then right after being on Broadway filming a show in Chicago. Like, you don't have it. You don't have the time. He does. And I'm all for women letting them men have them kids. That's what I always say. He want custody, let him have it. Let him have it. He'll be back in them courts trying to work something out. Let him have it, child. Let him have them kids and live your best life. You got about 2 or 3 years before he say, "Look, can we work out a different custody?" You got 2 or 3 years. So have as much fun as you can, girl, because he's coming back around. Deborah said Teyana Taylor has a better chance of winning an Oscar for the same reason that sinners won't win a thing. Yeah, this is the thing, guys. The Oscars you can never call. The Oscars, I can call every award show. The Oscars, who knows with them? They do whatever they want. You cannot look at any other award show and say that's how the Oscars is going to go. The only reason why I think that sinners won't sweep the Oscars, because they should, is because of what is happening right now. And I will also say, I did critique a lot of people at the Golden Globes who did not speak up about what is currently happening. But I will say this, I think that a lot of people were also probably scared and just, making the best choice that they could, because these people are at work, right? And working at CBS right now is extremely hostile because of this takeover. So you risk speaking up, you put a target on your back, you could probably lose everything. And not everybody can take that chance. So yes, I'm critiquing, but I'm also understanding your position. And I'm also understanding that although this looks very fun, you're at work. So I get it. But Mark Ruffalo said, I don't give a damn. I love him. I love that little white man. He does not care. He said, I'm going to put it all on the line every time. This is wrong. America is evil. He went off. I love him. I cannot wait for the pendulum to swing back. Smitty said, oh, Nikki, you would be horrified, LOL. I'm convinced all these black people giving it praise oh, no, you're not convinced. You're right. They are. All of these reviews for that movie came out right after everybody started saying, wait a minute. Because the Critics' Choice, I knew it. I knew it was going to start. When Sinners was not racking up every category, everybody was just like, what the hell is going on? Then immediately after, these black faces out of no, Sinners has been out for forever. You've had ample time to review the film. Now you're giving your review after the Critics' Choice Awards, after the public outrage. It's a scheme that Todd set up. They are being paid. They are being paid. Point blank and a period. And they are absolutely being paid because we are under a fascist regime. So before, under liberalism, stuff like that wouldn't fly. Because not only would you lose credibility, you can also get sued. But now, do whatever the hell you want. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Give Me Shelter said, people went out to watch Sinners. No one is watching all those films winning awards. No one. Hollywood doesn't know their audience, and I think it has to do with those Nepo babies in charge. I'm going to tell you what I know. Six months prior to when the movies come out, if you are in any of these unions, if you're a critic, if you're a part of SAG-AFTRA, if you're a part of the producers union, if you're a part of the writers union, if you are a part of any voting community for these film and TV award shows, you get the screeners to everything. It's like Christmas Day for the industry, right? Because every studio is sending out their screeners to the voting audience and critics and writers and everybody in the industry. It's the best thing. I remember when I first joined SAG and I got those screeners, I felt so accomplished and I watched everything. And I remember having a conversation at one of my writers' meetings about how I was setting up my Saturday to watch all of my screeners. And one person said, you watch those? And I was like, yeah. Don't you watch the stuff that you vote on? We have to I take voting seriously. I do not play. That's not the majority of the industry. They don't. The people don't watch this stuff. They don't. They should. But I will say this, as somebody who's I'm a movie buff, so of course I'm going to watch all that stuff and love it. But for a lot of people, they don't have the time. And to be honest with you, it's like hundreds of movies and TV shows to watch. That's a lot of media. That's why they send it out so early. I think we should get the stuff a year in advance just to give everybody ample time to watch. And I think it should be a requirement for you to watch. But because it's not a requirement that you have to watch this stuff before you vote, a lot of people just don't. So a lot of times, these award shows are just people voting for their friends. I think for me, in my opinion, the purest award show, and this is before, I don't know what it's going to be like now. Remember, we're under fascism. But the purest award show, in my opinion, is the Screen Actors Awards. Now it's called the Actors Awards. Boo! But the SAG AFTRA Awards. And the reason why I say that is because actors don't play. Actors don't play. If that performance didn't eat, you ain't getting that award. You ain't, and it's your peers who know the work, who do the work, who are just like, yeah, you didn't sell that, but this person did. That's why the SAG Awards are what a lot of other award shows watch out for, because that those used to be the awards that put unknown faces on the map, because it was actors appreciating the work that another actor did. It wasn't critics that were being paid off by the studio. It wasn't voters that are being paid off by agents to put their artists, their actor out there. This is just artists appreciating other artists. It was one of the purest award shows. And I'm only saying that now because I don't know what it is now. It's on YouTube, it's the Actors Award. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if it's what it'll, I don't know if it's going to be a shell of itself. But that I out of all the award shows, I will miss every one. SAG, the best. Me and all my theater friends would get together and watch it and just theater nerd out. What a time. But that's the best one. That's the best one. So if you really want to get appreciated, it's the SAG-AFTRA Awards. If you want to get appreciated by your people who understand the struggle, it's the NAACP Awards. But I said that to say people don't watch. It's just, especially the Oscars. If I ever get nominated for an Oscar and I win, two things are going to be true. I ate that performance up, and everybody that voted fell in love with me. I worked them rooms. Please believe it. I had everybody laughing. I had everybody wanting to take a picture with me. I had everybody coming up to me telling me that they loved my work and what I did and how I captured that moment. Those two things will be true. I ate that performance up and I worked every room I was in. Because that's the thing with the Oscars. That's the Super Bowl, right? Because there is so much money being put into that award show. Agencies, production companies, studios are dropping millions. That's why, as an actor, anybody being nominated, that's why you got to go to everything. There is a season right after the Oscars, right, where the actors who are nominated for the Oscars, they all take an extended break. Everybody takes an extended break. Why? Because I'm telling you, those people worked hard. They had bus, club, another club, bus, club. They have to go to every party, wear every kind of dress and shoe and designer and makeup. They got to get on every red carpet. They got to do every interview. They got to sit down with every news station. They got to sit on every podcast because they have to sell themselves to everybody. Even though for Oscars, they vote for their friends, period. That's the buddy thing. But it's also, who do we like the most? Yes, they're going to give it to the people who they think is most deserving. Who has the charisma? Who has the charm? Who is somebody that's going to not only give an Oscar-worthy speech, but is going to be somebody that just them in a dress is going to be viral? I'll give my girl Alandra for a second. I love her. Gorgeous, right? My sis can't act. That's okay. That's not her calling. She said, I'm a model. Face card, eats. If that woman could act, she would get every award. She's stunning, has virality, has a dedicated fan base with coin. All she got to do is be able to evoke a little bit of emotion. She got the Oscars because she's a good investment. So that's what it is. It's like, it's the Super Bowl because you're investing in who is going to be the best to come out of this, who is going to be the best investment, where you're going to get your return. I didn't see 12 Years a Slave because I just can't watch movies like that and not be more radical than I already am. I knew Lupita was going to get it when I saw the way, I think it was Warner Brothers, was putting money into her. I said, nobody's outspending them. She got it. And then she showed up. I remember I was watching the red carpet. She showed up in this beautiful blue dress, and she spins like they were taking a picture of her, calling her name. She spinned around, and the whole audience went, "Oh!" I said, "She got it," because that's an amazing investment. That woman was an amazing investment. I knew nobody was outspending Warner Brothers. Nobody. They put money into her and it paid off. So that's what the Oscars is. I love the Oscars. I hate the fact that when I, started working in this industry, my bubble got burst and I found out what it really was. And I'm like, oh, oh. But I have grown to know that what I thought the Oscars are, the Screen Actors Guild Awards are now the Actors Awards. So I have my Oscars that I feel is what I liked it to be the most. And then we got the Super Bowl, right? The fun one, the rich one. It's good, but it is what it is. But again, nobody watches them. It's too much media to consume, guys. It's too much media. Nobody watches all that media in enough time to vote. So that's why it's the person or the studio or the agency that spends the most that wins. Because if you can get your actor out there, if you can get your movie out there to enough people to see and have enough press talking about it, it's winning. It's winning. That movie, for a movie to not have any money behind it and no press and to come out of nowhere and win, it was a masterpiece. It was a masterpiece. What is that movie with the Asian poor family that was working for this rich family? I forgot what it was called. But when I tell you that movie was not supposed to be as big as it is, there was not a lot of money put behind it. The studios put money behind it when everybody started talking about that film. Like film spaces were like, this movie is amazing. Oh my God, oh my God. And so that when the film spaces started to talk about, the indie film spaces started to talk about it, everybody starts watching this movie. And I forget the movie that was against it at the time. That was supposed to be the one that won. But because everybody was talking, I forget the name, but I'm going to give you a better example. Moonlight. Remember Moonlight? Moonlight was not supposed to win, right? What happened was everybody started talking about Moonlight. And they started like the little YouTube crowds. They started going and really marketing this film to the community. And everybody started watching it and singing. They're watching it at bars and neighborhoods. They're like making a big deal about what this means and having think pieces written about it. And it just really took off. So La La Land was supposed to be that girl, right? But when you have all of these film spaces talking about how iconic this film is, you gotta that could sway the Academy, and it has happened at times. So for a movie that does not have a lot of money behind it to win, especially at the Oscars, my God, today it's a masterpiece. And that's exactly what Moonlight was. So the shock when it was La La Land, it was absolutely Moonlight. It wasn't really a shock if he was in those film spaces, because there's no way that you could deny that movie, especially at that time. And I think at that time we had a Black president, so it was a different time. Now you can deny these films. Now you can say that Sinners wasn't great because of look at what we're under. But at that time, for that movie to have been snubbed, thank God they got that wrong. It would have changed the industry, because everybody would have been like, oh no, this is just racism. It doesn't make any sense. They were already having that conversation about how Moonlight just wasn't getting the recognition that it deserves. The Oscars got it right, because it would have been a big problem if that masterpiece was disrespected like that. But that was a different time. We had a Black president. So you could do that then. You could do that, right? Now, there's no repercussions of snubbing one of the best films ever that just happens to be by a black man. What are the repercussions going to be? You'll probably get a pat on the back and more money. We're in a different time for now. For now. Zora said, Nikki, a black rad content creator I follow, said that several parts of one battle. I haven't seen it, so I really can't comment on it, but I've heard similar things. I heard, and I said, "Oh my God, poor Maya Rudolph. She just fell in love. Why are y'all making this her problem? That's just her husband. Why is his That's the thing. As a woman, you got to know how to pick them, because everything that man do, everybody gonna look at you. They look at like, Maya, how could you be? Did he write this about you? Yikes. Yikes. Lane says, Sinners was the best movie I've seen in years. Saw it in the movie theater 8 times and brought it on Roku. That movie was so great. My family that doesn't do horror, especially my mother, we had to get put out the movie theater because we were in there discussing it. My mom started preaching. My mom started preaching after watching Sinners. She was like, don't let him in. That was the purpose of the film, to let you know, don't let the devil in. Like they had to come and tell us that they were like closing the theater. We left the theater, got in our car, and started and finished discussing Sinners. And then went to go see it multiple times. But here's the thing. I'm fine because Sinners did what it was supposed to do. And what it's going to do after this award season, my God, today, get ready. Get ready. And that's the truth. Unfortunately, the art is in the struggle. That's where it is. That's why the poor and working class are so freaking talented. Unfortunately, we just don't have the money to provide or invest into that talent. But there's so much talent there because of struggle, because of pain. And that's just what happens. That's when, when you press down on a coal, put that pressure on it, you get a diamond. Love it. It's a phenomenal show. I just hope the biases from these characters don't feed into the show, because that's when it doesn't become fun anymore. They always somehow misogyny and racism just seeps into that show. So far, so good. I'm hoping it doesn't seep into the show and ruin another season. But, they got a good model here as long as the cast can keep it together. Simone said, Nikki, did you see the interview of the Sinners editor saying how yes, and I love the fact that Ryan said no to each and every one of them. Here's the thing. They want, the issue that they have with Sinners is that Ryan wrote it, so he controls it. So he can say yay or nay. So what that editor did was hoped that interview would pressure him and put pressure on him from everybody saying, Ryan, we need Sinners 1, 2, and 3, and we need all of these iterations of Sinners. That's what he was hoping would happen. But again, although we're under fascism, we're in such a different time as a nation, right? So that would have worked in a different season. Now it's not working. So he did that because that has probably worked for him before. Now everybody's waking up to the BS. So when he did that interview, everybody immediately started cussing him out. If you go look at that interview, in all the comment sections is dragging that man because they see clearly what he's doing. He did that interview to force him, Ryan, to make other versions of Sinners because they cannot make it without him. They can try, but he's going to sue and win because that is his work. It is an original piece. So they can't take that from him, and that's in his contract. Now they can distribute it for, I think, 20 or 25 or so years. After that, it comes back to him. So he is literally loading this film with limitations to the studio. So they can't force him to do it. They're hoping to get the audience, the viewing audience, to force him to do it. And what they want to force him to do is make Remy's story. And we know why. We know who that will appease, because we can't have Remy being the bad guy. We can't have the white guy being the bad guy. So we need to make a version for him so that we can get sympathy for this white character. Because that's how media works, right? You are watching these films and you're seeing that this person is the bad guy. That is not okay. We don't need that person to be the bad guy. So let's do a redemption arc for him. And Ryan said, no, the story is told. He said, no, it's done. This is the story. The story is told, and you can't force me because that's my work. And I just loaned it to the studios, not the editor, with limitation. That boy is a genius. And I remember when he got that deal, the way them white directors had a meltdown. Oh my God, the articles that came from that man's deal was insane. I said, oh, that boy's smart. That I respect him so much for what he's doing in this industry. That's why I'm just like, if Ryan ain't mad, I ain't mad. Because he know better than me what's going on. But yeah, I saw that. And this is the thing. The editor tried to clean it up when he said, because, you know, you might want to see Remy's story, you know, or Sammy's. Get out of here. You want the redemption for Remy, right? Because you want the viewing audience to feel bad for the white guy. Because the viewing audience left that movie feeling sorry for the black characters and the black characters only. The black characters were the heroes, and the native characters were the wisest people in the film. That Sinners basically told the story of America, the truth of America. And they hate it. They hate it. Black Americans were the heroes. Native Americans were the wisdom. And that's the truth of America. And that's just not a normal narrative that we ever get. So not only was that a narrative that we get all of this success behind it too. The people who have benefited off of Black Americans and Native Americans being the villains and being the savages don't want that story to be told. Don't want that story to sweep the awards. Are you kidding me? Because another thing that comes with the winning of these awards is you have acclamation. So if you have everybody talking about, you know, this film, and then this film wins all of these awards, people are just like, wait a minute. It has all this fan fodder. And then you have these critics, these voters who watches the movie and knows the art and understands the industry are voting for this movie and saying this amazing. Oh, well, it's about to get a second and third win, because now the people who didn't see it, who rely on award shows and critics to tell them what's good, now they're going to see it and it gets another life. And then you get more eyes on it. And then you get more eyes on this film where the Black Americans are the heroes. The Native Americans are the wisdom. You're showing how Asian Americans are being played against Black Americans by white Americans. And then at the end of the movie, the Klan is slaughtered. I don't know how that man was able to make that movie if we keep it at buck. Girl, he a bad mamma jamma. A bad mamma jamma. Kylie, Steve, thank you so much for the super chat. One can only hope, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I mean, it's on YouTube, so that's the only hope. If the Oscars were going to be on CBS, I would have called it a night. I wouldn't even watch. But now it's on YouTube. I'm like, we'll see what happens. Give Me Shelter said, I would love music with a purpose from the 19. Oh, it's coming back. Remember, we've been talking about this. I said the 70s are back, y'all. The 70s are back. And the 70s are going to be back in a very good and a very tragic way. Why? Because this is going to be the season of Black power, diasporic unity. The matriarchy will rise, especially in the 70s. Feminism was on the rise, but I think that's also going to come because there's going to be a lot of bloodshed. And unfortunately, we talked about this. Unfortunately, a lot of the bloodshed is going to come from Gen Z because those young people are going to be drafted to fight in wars that they never even thought about, right? And I think right now, everybody's still acting like what's happening isn't happening. And I feel like the reality was set in for a lot of people when their children get draft letters. And I don't think they're going to get draft letters, right? I think they're probably going to get some like message sent to their phone or something like that, but they're already automatically signing them up. So any young person that has been um, that is registered to vote, they already got your information, automatically sign that person up for um, to be drafted. And so I think that's when the reality is going to set in for a lot of people, and I think that is probably going to make people who never fought before start to fight because it's um it's going to be sad. It's going to be sad. But there will be some joy. There will be movements rising up. There will be a lot of love and appreciation. There will be um, a lot of unity. Be on the lookout for another form of crack because that is what happened. Remember? Those who were there who could remember. I wasn't there, but I read them books and I listened to my elders. And especially my grandmother talks about the time that it was to come from the 60s to the 70s. My God, today, what a time. It was a very, very hopeful and positive time for everybody. Not everybody, but the poor and working class especially. And out of nowhere, you get crack. And all that momentum is taken away. Because along with crack comes the AIDS epidemic. And you see the communities that were really thriving, all of a sudden, this drug and this virus just takes out generations of humans from those communities that were thriving and fighting back and finding an identity and really pushing the nation to a more inclusive to be a more inclusive nation. So that's what I say as we come into this season, look out. Look out. Look out for what will come next. As we're in the 70s, look out for the 80s. Okay? Don't drink or smoke anything. This might be the time for you to get clean of any of your vices. This might be the time. Oh Lord. Here's the thing. They don't think that he's a traitor. They just think that he's annoying. I think he's going to leave regardless. They even mentioned it. One of the guys who voted for him mentioned it. He said, either you're a traitor. He said, either you're a traitor, a very loud mouth, loud mouth traitor. Excuse me. If you're not a loud mouth traitor, you are chaos. And you are preventing a lot of progress. So either way, you got to go. And he got 4 votes. He will get more. Give Me Shelter said, Lord, see, if you came here for Potomac, I apologize. I'm going to get a couple more and then we're going to get out of here because I should have just had a Sinners Live. My God, today. Give Me Shelter said, the problem with Sinners, 1, white people weren't centered. Absolutely. 2, white savior. 3, a black man owes his art. Absolutely. Hit the nail on the head. Or Sammy. Get out of here. We know what you want. You want the redemption for the white male. That's it. Because also, what Sinners did was show how a religious, a white straight Christian male, what they showed was how this powerful white Christian male was able to lie, manipulate, and put all these communities against each other. Sinners was telling the American story. Point blank, period. Point blank, period. That is why it was so important for the scene. Sorry, I'm spoiling if you haven't seen it. The scene where Sammy and Remick are fighting, and Sammy starts quoting the Bible, and Remick starts quoting it too. And then he talks about his religious upbringing and his father, and how he grew up in Christendom, and he starts letting him know, oh, I've been there. I was literally there when it was written. So he was letting him know who he is spiritually. And that is how that man was able to become who he was able to become. Him being a vampire, the least of everybody's worries. It was the fact that he knew how to lie and manipulate from his religious beliefs. He saw his father do it, so he was able to do it. It was generationally passed down. Sinners was telling such a deep story, and he was so smart by the cultures that he represented. He represented the cultures who were at a point all working together, and he showed them how, he showed the viewing audience how one person got in and made all of them cultures fight each other. And turned, like, it was so, like, the way he did it, it was so smart. That's why he had the brothers being gangsters, and one, working with the Irish, one working with the Italian Americans. That's why he put that in there. Because at that time, they were not yet considered white. So they were trying to make it move and shake in the best way that they could. But that's why the brothers were able to work with those gangsters like that. Because although, yes, there was absolutely racism, I would not deny that. But they were all kind of working together against one enemy, Remick, and who Remick represented. That's why they want Remick to have a redemption. Because you can't just tell that story and leave it there. Oh no, absolutely not. We gotta redeem him. We gotta make another bad guy. Remick can't be the bad guy. He's so freaking smart. That man is so freaking smart. Hey, So Seth, thank you for being here. Give me Shelton said, had Sinners been a slave film, it would have. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Somehow Black films focus on a period between Reconstruction and Civil Rights. Absolutely, because that is not the story that they want to be told or that they want to be popular. Callie Steve said, Oscar's still in ABC. Sinners will pull a Moonlight, which won the Armist. You're right. Oh my God. Oh my God. Callie Steve, you just convinced me. S. Glover said, oh, HIV is on the rise because of the admin. Yeah, they stopped all of the funding. Yeah, funding was cut. Yeah, they're trying to do the same thing because Reagan was so successful. Everything that is wrong with America is because of Reagan. Everything. And he was so successful. So they're just pulling the same moves. So I'm just like, be careful. Be careful. Dear Diary said, hey, Nikki, just joining the live. I just seen Sinners for the first time last week. Even though I had seen almost the whole movie on TikTok, LOL, I was still in awe. It's so great. It's so great. Dear Diary said, the natives and the ending were chef's kiss, along with a lot of other scenes. The movie was chef's kiss. Yes, and him putting the Native Americans in at the beginning was so smart, right? Because who are the first people who have experienced genocide on their own land? Who are the first people to tell you what this nation is? Native Americans. Who are the first people who is giving everybody warnings? But who are the first people who said, you know what? You don't want to listen? God bless. Because they tried to let them know they didn't want to listen. Them Native Americans did not go back and forth. They said, absolutely, you got this. I'm telling you what it is. You don't want to listen? Have fun. And then it's handed over to Black Americans. Why? Because although Black Americans have experienced the same oppressor, they don't got the same discernment as Native Americans. Why? Because they got a cookout invite problem. The way he told this story, I was in awe. I said, I hate that he did it before me. I was just like, oh my God. He is telling the story of it. If you don't want to learn the history of America, if you don't feel like reading all of that, just watch Sinners. Just watch Sinners. All them Black people would have been alive if they stopped inviting people to the cookout. That's our problem. We make everybody family. She my cousin. I'ma listen to her. Now everybody dead. That's always been our problem. Social Stuff said that man with the jumpsuit that led the charge against Portia, did y'all see the top of his head? He needs to. Oh, they kept on showing that. I felt so bad for him. I'm like, why y'all keep on showing the top of this man's head? My God, today he felt bad though. But listen, we got to put that on Portia. Portia kept on saying that she was a traitor. That was a box of rocks. Body Tito. Give me each other said, Remick said he remembers when Christianity took over his people. I assumed he comes from pre-Christian Irish. Can't wait for a must Sinners Live. You know what? Apparently we need to have one. And you know what? The redemption that the editor was looking for with Remick was already in the movie. Hello. Remick was Irish. Of course he knows. Of course, he is also a victim of the same oppression. But he decided to become the oppressor. Instead of fighting it, he became it. So we already hear his redemption when he's talking to Sammy about his father and what happened to him with Christianity. So we already see that he's a victim as well. And we see how terrible the cycle is. So what is there a redemption? So why we don't need a redemption for Remick? We already got it in the movie. CM said, if they do a sympathetic edit for Remick, it'll go back to how terrible the English Irish were to certain groups like the Irish, and it'll go worse than they thought. Absolutely. Absolutely. And I'm just like, y'all really want a Black man to write that? The war that will start? Oh, speaking of, oh my gosh. When I told you it's about to get bad, they starting to break down the whites. Like now, when you are with applications, I think they're going to start doing it with the census. I think they're already doing it with the census. So now remember, it used to be like, you would write white or Black, and then it would be Hispanic Black. You know what I mean? Like Black Hispanic or something like that. So it was always white, then Black Hispanic. And then it would go to like breaking down what kind of Hispanic person you were. And then it would go to sometimes other, that would be with just where, Asian or biracial people would check the box. Now they're breaking down the whites. Now it's white, Irish, Italian. We getting some 1950s racism, y'all. We told y'all them people were crazy. They're breaking up the whites. It's no longer white anymore, child. They want to know if you Polish. Yikes. Yikes. Ooh. Ooh, it's about to get crazy over here. Deborah said Sinners might get thrown a bone with the best screenplay award. I do think they're going to get a best screenplay because it's the only original piece. Nothing else is original. It's none of its competitors is original. That's the only original piece. Motion picture would be huge. I'm just really, really doubtful, but Callie Steve gave me some hope. Dear Diary said, yes, when he said he is in your house and the other natives were like, It's about to get dark. Black Americans never owned anything in this land. That's the difference between us and the natives. And yet we didn't know this land. So the only people who knows the land and knows the oppressor better than us, Native Americans. Who tried to warn everybody? Native Americans. But the difference between Native Americans and Black Americans, the Native Americans shook the dust off their feet. They said, "Oh, we're trying to tell you what it is. You don't want to listen. All right, girl, it's getting dark. I'm going home." But not Black Americans. The mammies. We'll put on our cape and try to save everybody, even at the detriment of us. He told that story so well. Deborah said, there is zero need for a remake movie. We already know everything about him through exposition, his song, context clues, everything. And he told us. He already has a redemption. We don't need it. Dear Diary said, I hate the cookout mentality. That's how people like Michael Rappaport, I spelled his name wrong, became so relevant. Absolutely. That's our problem. That is our problem. Give Me Shelter said, I saw that, Nikki. This white girl lost her mind because she said she's never been asked what type. Now they are forced to. I said, oh, what the hell is this? It's getting bad. Dear Diary said, one more thing about the census. Do you think it's accurate when it comes to our numbers? Oh, absolutely not. Absolutely not. No, I never believe that. I said, we've never been 13% of the population. We're 13% of the population in the South alone. Like, girl, absolutely not. We'll see. We'll see. I might do an Oscars live because Kylie Steve is just he is so positive about this. I might do an Oscar live to see if we're right about our predictions. Jocelyn said, hi, Nikki. I watch these lives while driving. It's the highlight of my commute. Would you consider reading the entire super chat when you get comments? It's hard to catch when I can't read the screen. Oh, I'm so sorry. I feel like I'm doing that kind of. I'll be more intentional about it. I just really like to pull out the comments because sometimes you guys are saying the same thing. But I'll take that into consideration. Thank you, Jocelyn. You know what? Oh no, because you can't read them then. I was going to think about another way to do it, but no, I'm going to do it this way. So Jocelyn, I'm reading Give Me Shelter's comment. Give Me Shelter said, Nikki, if you decide to hold a pre-Oscar Centers in Cinema Live, we could talk about Ryan Coogler's wife too, because she helped him on this film. Yes, I would love to talk about her because I also love how he's pushing her to the forefront. Every time he speaks, he gives her the mic. He's such a great guy. He's such a great guy. Yes. They've been lying about it. I don't trust anything that America says about Black people. I don't trust none of it. That's why I always get mad in the diaspora wars when I'm like, y'all are believing what your media is telling y'all about Black people? You think I believe what the news is telling me about Africa? Are you kidding me? The UK Brits be pissed. The Black Brits be pissing me off because I'm just like, well, America. You believe that nonsense about Black people coming out of America? It could never be me. Any westernized nation, I am not listening to anything that you say about Black people or the indigenous people of their land. You are lying. I immediately think you're a liar. I don't trust it. I don't trust. What is it? Australia can't tell me nothing about the Aborigine people. You're lying. You're lying. I don't believe it. Nope. I don't believe you're a liar. So it pisses me off, especially with Black people, believe the media, their westernized media about Black people from all across the globe. I can't believe y'all believe that nonsense. It could never be me. S. Glover said, Black people don't do the census, especially the older. That's what I'm not only. That is my first thought, right? Not only do I not believe the census because they're liars, but also we don't fill that census out, especially Black Americans. The way my grandmom scared the whole family about that. Don't let them take our numbers. so they can take us out. Like it. All the black people are so scary. My God, today. My God, today. And then you got the delusional black Americans who think that they are multiracial when it's just like, girl, you're giving original. Mark Black, it's what you look like, sweetie. Please, please. I know your great great grandmother was Japanese. You look negra. Mark Negra, please. Mark Black. But so our numbers are fumbled. We have never been 13%. Not even since they forced us over here. CM said, A People's Guide by Howard Zinn is very good about the actual U.S. history. Him and Jane Elliott keep their feet on his people's neck. Oh, absolutely. I like the work of both. Jane Elliott had some controversy. I hope Mother has healed from that and matured. Callie Steve said, I have been following these awards and gather data points for years. I know, but the fascism is like, oh, it's bad, Callie Steve. I hope you're right. E for Empathy said, I sure you couldn't tell me the time much. I don't listen. I'm telling you, any westernized nation, I don't believe nothing you say. I don't believe nothing. I don't trust it. Because I know how your cousins act. I don't trust it. Dear Diary said, I never believed in the census either. We never trusted them. Yeah, that's the thing. So that's why I never believed we were 13%, because I know we don't do that. That's another thing. We don't want them to know our numbers. So, okay, we're 13% of the population. Sure. Yeah. Think that. We don't want them knowing our numbers. Absolutely. Let me read it. I'm sorry, Jocelyn. Dear Diary 536 said, I never believed in the census either. We never trusted them that much that the majority will put our names down on paper. Black Brits don't even understand how Brits are the blueprint. Are the blueprint for America. Thank you so much. Because there's this really big Black British TikToker. And he did this video that pissed me off. But I'm like redefining myself in 2026, where now I'm no longer fighting people online. I'm just blocking. But sometimes I have to write out my comment so I can get it out and then I delete it. But I am no longer responding. I'm just blocking and moving on about my day because I got to do better for myself. But I saw that video and I had to close my phone because he sat up there and said, he's living under the OG the architects of colonization, the first cannibals. He's living under them. And he says, I finally understand because he's showing this clip of Sinners. And he's like, I finally understand what Black Americans mean about white Americans. Not in that accent. Y'all know, y'all drag me when I do my little British accent. But I'm going to do it anyway. I finally understand how Black Americans feel, mate. I finally get it, what they mean about the white Americans. I'm like, huh? What you mean you finally get it? You should have been the one telling us. I was so heated. I'm like, are you trying to say that your whites are different? Dare I say better? Are you kidding me? That thing, because I hate, not all Black Brits do this, but there are some Black Brits who act like racism doesn't exist in the UK. Y'all are not serious. Just because they bang you don't mean that they see you as a fully realized human being. What are we talking about here? Oh, that video pissed me off. And you know what pissed me off even more? My people in the comments going, see, I'm so glad that you finally see what we've been talking about for so long. Shut up. Oh, they got on my nerves. Thank you for finally seeing it. We've been trying to tell you guys how they treat us here. Shut up. Shut up. Because I feel like when they talk like that, you act like you don't know who we are. You don't act like you don't know why America is great. You act like you don't know who did that. And that pisses me off when Black people do that. And what pisses me off even more than those Black people are the Black people goes, oh my God, why does everybody hate us? We don't even do anything, but everybody just seems to hate us. Nobody likes us. You know what? I'm a back off from that. because I realize I always have to realize, like, take it back to the fact that I'm from Philly. And I have to realize I come from a very different place than the rest of America. Because I'm from a place where our theme is, our logo for our city is, nobody likes us and we don't care. So probably things that shouldn't roll off my back rolls off my back because of where I'm from. So maybe that's what it is. But I hate when Black people do that. Nobody likes us. Why not? Do you know who we are? Pick up a book. Sit at the feet of your elders. That's so embarrassing. That's so embarrassing. And I just want to get in the comments and be like, delete this. You're embarrassing me in front of mixed company. Oh my God. Let me tell you something. We do not like to be counted. So we do not care about that census. We do, especially when they give you the option. Are you white, Black, other? I don't want to mention it. I always check that box. Unless I'm at my doctor. If I'm at my doctor, I'm Black American. But other than that, I don't want to mention that. For what? Why you need my race? So you can steal my organs? See, my grandmother, she got to me. She got to me. Absolutely not. Oh, absolutely. But we don't let them know our numbers. Y'all gotta be smart. Y'all gotta outthink that. Y'all gotta outsmart that oppressor. We don't let them know where we at. Ilowit said, "Hi, Nikki. Do you know when your next live on Traders will be?" Oh shoot, I have it on. I have a calendar now, guys. Friday. I'm waiting to hear back from something, so I don't know the time yet for Friday. But my next Traders Live will be Friday. TTT, too cutie. Said, hi, NikkiNicoleStar family. My elder said the same thing about not telling. Yeah. oh, shoot. I keep on forgetting to read it. I'm sorry, Jocelyn. TT2 cutie said, hi, NikkiNicoleStar family. My elder said the same thing about not telling those people the truth on the census, too. Also, I seen the form for the ethnicity breakdown. It was wild to see. It was wild to see. Child, they moving quick. They moving quick. I'm telling you, they're just trying to find out who's Polish. What is their problem with Polish people? I don't get in other people's business, but let me tell you something. Especially in Philadelphia, they don't like them Polish people. I don't know what happened. But the Italians and Irish, ooh, they don't like each other either. I found that out in high school. I was like, what kind of white on white madness is this? But they all link up against the Polish. What did they do? Give Me Shelter said he's the one that said Sinners wasn't the best picture. Apparently he lives in the States. But who's that? Oh, yes, you're right. Give Me Shelter said, I feel like the online Black Brits are farming Black Americans' energy. Well, they're rage baiters. I also feel like a lot of them are being paid. Because I just feel like, why are you kicking off diaspora wars? Like unprovoked. And you start off with a video that's mad divisive for no reason. Something is afoot. Deborah said, as a non-American, I was shook to see that 13%. It always gave at 40, like 40 to 40, 40 Black and white. And it probably is that, but I'm telling you right now, they will never know how many of us there are. Nope. Never. Give Me Shelter says, speaking of Philly, love Sharice Bilal energy. Oh, she ain't playing with ice and President Diaper. Oh, absolutely not. Absolutely not. I'm not shocked. Guys, see, do y'all understand me better when y'all see stuff like that coming out of my city? That's where I come from. I'm used to that. Like, I was as a child screaming "Free Mamiya." I didn't know who that man was, but that's like that's what we do. We just protest. We are the France of America, okay? Illowitz said we should do a Star Family book club. I've been okay. This keeps on coming up, and I feel like the time is now to do that. We are. I'm going to wait till next week to bring that discussion back because I want to finish out the content I have for this week. But I'm gonna wait till next week to bring that discussion back because you guys have mentioned that a few times, and there are some books that I do want to read with y'all. That would be so much fun. So I'm going to bring up some suggestions next week in a post like I do for everything else. And you guys let me know. And if y'all down with it, we'll start in February. Thank you for being here, Just Jada. Rah, I gotta put timestamps to this. It's always with my Real Housewives lives. Said I stopped because I won't give the info to gerrymander. That's it. We do not tell them people our numbers. If that's one thing you're gonna take away from Black Americans, take that away. Don't tell them how many of y'all there are. Dare Diary said they don't know, Nikki. I'm proud you're not feeding into the comments anymore. A lot of them are bots anyway. They hate when we come together, and the election showed it again. Hashtag never forget. Yeah, here's the thing. You know what woke me up? There is an interview circling around, and it's a Tucker Carlson and another white guy. And the way they were you know what? We're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about it. The way they were trying to fuel the diaspora wars, I said, See, that would let me tell you something. Nothing wakes me up more than white opinions or male opinions. Mm-mm. When they are going towards something and they try to rope you in, I'll be like, what's going on here? What's afoot? Because what? Like the diaspora wars, we have it, we do whatever. Now, why are y'all in it? Why are y'all in it? What's going on here? Let me tell you something. I will listen. I will get it together. Me and another woman to get into it. The minute a man jump in, why are you here? I immediately get suspicious. And again, guys, especially, I think I have to say this for like new people. My white subscribers already know this. When I'm talking about white people, I'm talking about the remix. Okay. I'm not just saying, I'm not blanketing all of y'all. I hope y'all know there's a distinction, right? I don't give the distinction anymore because I feel like, everybody who's been here has been here with me for years, but I feel like I have to do that now. So not all of you guys, just the ones that put us in this situation. So those two guys are like, I'm not going to go into it too much because I said I'm going to do a live about it. But that conversation they were having about Black Americans and Africans woke me up. I said, there it is. Absolutely. I see what you're doing. No. Absolutely. You will not draw me into that mess. As Glover said, there isn't even a ton of Polish people in the US, but whites legit be hating each other for not being the right type of white. The Polish has a ton going on with their government. Yeah, I don't understand what it is, why there's hate for the Polish people. I don't understand. But I know growing up, I've heard some slang, not slang, derogatory terms for them, and I was always confused about that. But I minded my business. Yep, that's my city. That's how we are. And even our DA said they better not try it. That's what's normal to me. S. Glover 1124 said, can I pick the books? Because she reads, but let's be real, she only reads smut. Who? Me? Joe says, I could see a sitter's best picture win, and they'll give PTA weirdo so bad. Oh, he's getting best director. Oh, PTA is getting best director. Absolutely. But see, now you and Steve are saying best picture. All right now. We'll see. Give me shelter said, by the way, I just saw that Alandria. Oh, and she looked stunning. She looked stunning. You know how I saw her? I think it was Cosmo. Glamour. Glamour magazine is obsessed with her. That's how I saw her. They had like 6 posts about her, just drooling over her. She got magazines drooling over that girl. That girl, my God, today, there will never be another Love Island star from any Love Islands that has a run like her. My God, today. Dear Diary said, I'm so glad my question about the census being accurate sparked the responses because I've been thinking I was crazy. The responses are affirmations. Oh, yes. We don't tell our numbers. Now, we will never. I'm telling you, I only mark the right box at my doctor's office. After that, I'm every American. It's all in me. Some days I'm Latina, some days I'm other, maybe I'm Asian. Who knows? Who knows? I've been white a couple times. Who knows? Who knows? Only at my doctor do they know my accurate race. Everywhere else? Nope. Oh, yes. You know what? I'm just going to do it, Kathy. I'm going to bring it back. Because I was going to do it. Hold on, because I got to read this for Jocelyn. Kathy says, please talk about that Tucker conversation on FBA. So remember, guys, I was going to do a whole diaspora wars discussion. And the reason why I did not do it was because I got some responses from some people who wanted to be a part of it. But I don't want to foster any conversation here on my platform that is not helpful. And I just didn't see it going that way. I felt in that moment when I got the idea to do it, I just thought that I didn't think that it would be healthy. Now I got something to go off of. So we're going to bring back diaspora wars. So look, the people who I talked to before, who I reached out to, who I said that I wanted you to be a part of this, look out for an email. We're going to start right there. We're going to start right there. Will said, Happy New Year, Star Family. Oh, February will be great for a Black author like Kendrick. I was thinking about Octavia Butler, but not Kendrick. Or Paradise by Toni Morrison. Toni Morrison might be after. My God, we can't start with Toni. We can't start with Toni. Give Me Shelter said, yep, I noticed the FBA's flooding Twitter back around BLM. I started to notice the patterns that when the diaspora started to have productive conversations, so fringe group pop-ups. Let me tell you something. There was a lady on Threads who said, if you want to see where somebody is from, click on their profile and it'll show you where they're located. That post from her changed my entire experience on Threads. Because I'm telling you, every agitator that I would see on that app, every time I clicked their name, they were not in America. And then I click on their profile picture, looks AI. And I'm just like, we have, the American people have been infiltrated by this internet. My God, today have we been played like a fiddle. We have already been invaded. We've already lost the battle. My God, today. Oh, Give Me Shelter. I know what you meant. You didn't need to fix it. Just Jonda said, whites are fueling diaspora wars because they do not want the U.S. to care when they make their move on a continent. Nigeria at its minerals is next. Greenland is just a distraction. What a wrong distraction it is. Because the way that nut job talking about taking Greenland is waking up Europe. Adios míos. Europe said, you want Greenland? Oh, okay. Hold on. Oh, my God. We're going to be in the thick of it. My God, today. Just John just said, Extra stopped everything and posted Alandria. Yep. Alandria is in the building with six different picks. I'm just, that woman's run is iconic. Listen. Oh, I switch it up all the time. You will never know who I am unless you're my doctor. Just Jonathan said the combo with that dude and Boeing Yang about Jasmine Crockett still has me hot as fish grease. I am never surprised. Guys, never be surprised by the elites, no matter how they identify. Never be surprised by them. Never. I think that's what I will do with the book club. I think the book club needs to be more intentional, and I think the book club is definitely going to be uh, membership only. Yes, that's what I think I want to start with. Rara. Oh, Rara. Oh, shoot. I keep on forgetting. Sorry, Jocelyn. Give me shelter, Jocelyn. Give me shelter said you can hold the subscribers only live to combat trolls. And I said I would do that because I want to keep it cute and have a more controlled environment for something so deep. Rara said, I have both parable books I need to read. This would be a great time to do it. TT Cutie said, me too, Nikki. I'm a melting pot or any ethnicity at any time. It's fun. It's fun being different people. It's a fun. Yes, and that's why America, Give Me Shelter said, Russia wants Greenland, though, just saying. Yes, and that is why America is going after Greenland. To probably hand it to Russia. We have such losers running us. I'm telling you, nobody was more right than the boomers when they said participation trophies are going to ruin us. Those boomers was right. Everybody thinking that everybody should have an opinion, everybody's a winner, got us here. Got us here. We need to go back to only attractive, smart people running the nation. No more funny looking idiots. Absolutely not. I am so sorry for the next Tinder-eyed person that tries to run for office. No, we can't do. We can't trust you. We can't trust you. We cannot trust you. Simone said, I already know Love Island will try to make another Landria happen, but in white to appease the fascist regime, but it will fail terribly. Absolutely. Absolutely. It won't work. It will not work. What they did to that woman, her and Shelley, crazy work. Unforgivable. Unforgivable. Just Jonathan said, when you go to a law school in Washington, D.C. filled with legacies and only 4% black during the OJ trial, you are never surprised. Child, you are never surprised by the whites. Child, I know that's right. Won the Mill 87. The remix. Not the Tina Marie's. Won the Mill 87 said, what did Jane Elliott do? We got to be mad at her now. Oh, so here's the thing. She was doing one of her, she went viral. There's a viral video of her where she was doing her lessons, where she was teaching, white people how to be better humans and racially sensitive. And I think in the video, she looked at somebody and said, she was giving an example, and she said that such and such called a black man the N-word, but she didn't say N-word. She said hard ER. And there was a young white guy in the lesson, and he was like, oh, he clenched his pearls. And she was like, what? He was just like, he said, you can just say N-word. You don't have to say, the word with a hard ER. And she was just like, oh no, I can. Like, basically her response was, because of the racial work that she has done, she can say the N-word because it helps in her teaching. She lost me there. And I love Miss Elliott. I love the work that she does. But the fact that she couldn't be corrected in that moment and didn't see the error of her ways, that's a problem. That's a problem. And I'm just like, where in your teaching do you need to actually say the derogatory words for Black people that was created by your community? I think you doing the work is great. That doesn't absolve you of the stain of your community. You still should have some kind of wisdom and compassion and lead in a very different way. And the fact and her response to that young man who softly corrected her wasn't a good look. Wasn't a good look. I I'm not voting for nobody tender-eyed who cannot read. And he or she cannot like fast food. If I see you in any McDonald's driveway, you're out. No shade. No shade. That orange demon has messed it up for everybody. I'm strict over here. Attractive, smart, and healthy. Don't let me see you with a French fry. Absolutely not. Protein shakes only. I'm not playing. It's strict over here. Give Me Shelter talking about Jane Elliott said she got too comfortable. She got lazy because that response centered her over the work, and that is the problem. I was just like, oh, Jane, you can be corrected. You can be corrected. There is no way that you are doing any type of healing work as a privileged person. There is no way that you need to center yourself or put yourself in a position where you cannot be corrected. Because if you take offense to correction, then that shows that the work was never about the people, but it was about you. It was self-serving. You weren't doing it because it was the right thing to do and you were anointed and gifted in that. You were doing it because you could and it made you feel good. So it's an ego stroke. It's not actually you're doing the work because you saw an issue and you found a way to correct it or to help. It's an ego stroke. That's a problem. That's a problem. And we're going to end with E for Empathy, who says, to quote my sister-in-law, no uglies, LOL. I'm sorry. You have to be cute, clean, and I need to see a master's degree from an accredited college. No Satone. No Satone. No shade. Anyway, y'all, here's the funniest thing about this. When I got on here, I was just like, oh, I'm only going to be on here for an hour. I'm just going to try to do an hour today. Why are we over 3 hours? I love y'all so much. I love y'all so much. Let me get my super chats and I got to get out of here, Star Family. Did I get this one? Jocelyn, thank you so much. Jocelyn said, just a thank you for considering my feedback. You really make my 2-hour each way commute so enjoyable. I love listening to your commentary. Thank you so much, Jocelyn. 2 hours. My God, today. Lord, I'm glad that I can help with that travel. Thank you so much. And thank you all for joining me. I will see you tomorrow for the Golden Globes review, show review, and red carpet review with Arnold. We're already talking about some looks that we want to see. And please make sure you go back and look at my posts, because a lot of times when we do this review, you guys shout out looks that we've missed or that you want to see. And I like to have the pictures ready so we can talk about that. So go to my Golden Globes post and put on there any looks that you want us to discuss, so that by the time the live happens, I already have those looks ready so that we can discuss them. Thank you. Discuss them. Thank you again for joining me. So sorry that Potomac turned into something else. It's given old school lives. My God, today. But we will have separate lives about the conversations that we had in here, because there's so much more to talk about. Anyway, I love you. Good night, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are. And I'll see you soon for something else. Bye. 3 hours, guys. I was supposed to be here for 1.